Good evening, everybody. I'm Will Nunley here in the SevereView Weather Center, and we welcome you to tonight's coverage as severe storms once again on our doorstep for a lot of portions of Middle Tennessee. As a matter of fact, we already have several warnings already underway in West Tennessee, including a tornado warning that is just now starting to cross the state line, and we're going to be watching that for areas like Selmer. We're also watching that for places like Savannah, Tennessee, and Hardin County. Or in just a moment, we'll take you live to one of our cameras there that has quite a lightning show to show you. But let's set the stage for what's happening. To that, we'll go first to radar, and you can see this is how things are stacking up across portions of West Tennessee right now. We do have a couple of active severe thunderstorm warnings, and that's going to take us all the way to areas like Trenton and Brownsville, just now leaving the Memphis area. The good news is once this passes, and we're talking about this line here that you see on your extreme left side of your screen, once that has a chance to roll through, these warnings and the watches are dropping off right behind it. So a lot of the concern that we have starts to dissipate as well. But one thing that we are watching closely is this area of storms that is going to be on the front end of what we're calling the main line. And that's going to be right here now centered on your screen. And that's going to be this area of storms near Clarksburg, just south of Clarksburg, including Lexington and Henderson County, as well as again just outside of Selmer, between Selmer and Savannah, where we have that active tornado warning. The area of concern with this tornado warning has not crossed the state line yet, but we're going to be tracking that for you, especially as it starts to come into places like Hardin County. So I want you to pay special attention to that. I also want to welcome into our coverage this evening Meteorologist Payne Smith. He's going to be tracking along with us, helping to decipher radar and give us a better perspective of things as we see it in real time. And Payne, this is so far shaping up kind of like we expected. We knew that a lot of this was going to start to develop, and when it did, it's going to move rapidly, and that's what we're seeing so far tonight. Any surprises that you've seen as you've been watching radar so far tonight?
Yes, Will. I've been checking up on our radars. Currently, right now in Martin, Tennessee, we just now had that second. Well, we first had a first tiny squall line come in about an hour ago. Wasn't that bad, but it's been pushed up more now northeast. We now have this second squall line that's now coming through, and just as of I'd say about like a few minutes ago, I instantly heard it come. We are having very high gusts at the moment, and it is pouring down rain, and we have a lot of thunder going on.
Absolutely, and those are a lot of the symptoms that we were watching for early on, and sure enough, that is what we're seeing so far. Let's talk about this tornado warning that we've got here just south of the state line. It's going to be moving into Hardin County. Folks, we have it on your screen there for you. And as we start to look at this particular tornado warning here, our WeatherWise system indicating that this is going to be just south of Corinth at this point. Not ground confirmed yet, Payne, but this is so far what we're looking at on this radar. As we kind of move towards the Corinth area and towards the state line, what are you looking for at this particular cell right here?
Yes, well, we're definitely wanting to see if there is any change to, of course, the color that you see, especially those dark purple areas are definitely places that you want to focus on the most, because those are going to be the biggest areas of where you'll see a lot of chances of a possible tornado to touch down. If you focus enough, you usually want to see where sometimes you'll see like a tail to start to form and it starts to curve, and usually that's a really good sign of a tornado about to be touching down.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, just checking on some of our audio there. That's right. And so we're going to be watching for some of those classic signatures. And you're right, when we start to get to these purple colors, of course, that also indicates a hail core. And we start to have areas of frequent lightning mixed in with these hail cores that we could start to see some of that tornadic development as well. We do have, of course, ahead of this main line, and we're still talking about that over parts of Brownsville and areas like Collierville, and even a little bit of a secondary line kind of forming up. So we have three kind of waves of storms making their way through here right now. It looks like we just had a brand new severe thunderstorm warning issued, and boy, is this a big one, friends, okay, because this one is going to stretch almost state line to state line, not quite, but it's going to at least take it up above I-40 and well down there to the state line. So let's go ahead and go over for this, because they are giving this a tornado possible tag. So the National Weather Service in Memphis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for western Henderson, southern Gibson County, southeastern Fayette County, Hardeman, northwestern McNairy, Madison County, and Chester until 9 o'clock. Severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from Three-Way to near Sladen, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So let's get into some, if you don't know your counties, let's get into a few of the specific cities with this, and that's going to include Jackson, Humboldt, Lexington, Henderson, Bolivar, Natchez Trace State Park, Chickasaw State Park, Fairview, and that's going to be in West Tennessee, Blue Goose, Wildersville, and Jacks Creek. And so this is all along Interstate 40 where this is. So let's kind of bring this in. And just as I was talking about that, a new one being issued as well. And this isn't surprising, folks. Really, as this main line moves through, you're going to see pretty much everywhere involved in that get wrapped up in a severe thunderstorm warning of some type. And this is going to involve Weakley County, northern Henderson, Gibson, Benton, Carroll, Henry, northeastern Decatur County in West Tennessee until 9:15. So we'll be with us for just a little bit. But friends, I want to talk to you too about the speed of this, because Payne, from everything we've been seeing tonight, this is moving through at a decent pace. That's one thing we can say with this front, at least, is even though it's causing a lot of noise, has a lot of wind with it, it is moving at a decent pace.
Yes, Will, I can definitely tell as soon as this second squall line has come through, I'm telling you, you can hear the howl of that wind. It is, those wind gusts are, you can definitely tell that they are very fast. And like you said, yeah, this storm is going at a decent pace. And with it going at a decent pace, that's the reason why we're not going to be seeing so big risks of any flooding from this severe threat.
Yeah, let me pull this up on your screen here, folks, and give you some attention to this one here, because you're going to see this. This is one of our live network cameras out of Hardin County. This is in Savannah. And take a look at this light show, because we are seeing this come in from one of our HAZ cams here. And this is that same cell that we are watching that is associated with this particular storm, this warning. And you can see it approaching in the distance, because they've been able to move this HAZ cam around a little bit here. And we appreciate our friends at Emergency Management also for helping to work with our team. Our storm specialist, Drew Richards, kind of showing us this in real time. Because it's one thing, of course, for us to show you the picture on radar and talk about it, but we love the opportunity to be able to give you this incredible perspective from the ground as well. And so this is what we're seeing right now from this. And Payne, this is matching up with all of the intensity that we would expect to see with a storm like this. We have the ingredients there. This is a look at it over the horizon. Sir. And boy, tell me about this light show here. I mean, this is something that you're going to see when we have these fronts move through that have so much energy associated with them.
Yes, Will. I mean, looking at it, I mean, for as beautiful as it looks, I mean, still shows you how what is soon coming is very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. And the possibility of hail with this as well. So folks, when we talk about the wind,
yes, sir.
When we talk about the wind possibilities with this, we have 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts possible with this. We now see an expanded severe thunderstorm warning in this same area. So as we've been talking to them, and go ahead and get you back to radar here, friends. And we might even double box that in a second so I can show you both at the same time. But what we have there is a severe thunderstorm warning now that has been issued that encompasses most of Henderson County, Hardin County.
Dealing with right now is a lot of wind gusts, and even when these wind gusts aren't at its full potential, it can cause these trees to fall down pretty easily. And with that, people really need to be careful, because these trees can cause lots of damage to power lines, houses, if you live in a wooded area, and it can even cause roadblocks as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. We've had some folks tonight. We are actually operating an emergency shelter here at our studios tonight because we had some folks come in and say, you know what, we feel like we've got some trees that are too close for comfort in near our home, and we've heard some branches possibly snapping throughout the night. So we've had several reports today. As a matter of fact, Payne, earlier today we had an electric line fall, and it sparked a small field fire here, or a decent size actually, woods fire here in Perry County, Tennessee, near Lobelville. So we had some firefighters dealing with that throughout the evening as well. So yeah, all kinds of hazards can come along with this, and these conditions are going to change quickly. So let's take a look at this, Payne. I'm actually going to bring this radar full screen here, and as I do, I want you to tell me, because you are the meteorologist here in this situation, I want you to look at this particular setup that we have moving in now, because all this is moving fast. It's also morphing. I want to say that. Do you have anything, because this was a radar indicated rotation with this particular storm, and it is still now. It has not been ground verified, or have we had any damage reports. But looking at what you see on the screen here, is there an area of the storm that you would say gives you the most concern? Do you see any type of signature that you think is more concerning in this?
Let's see. Yes, Will. Especially like I said again with the colors, the purple, which of course that's where your possible chances of hail are going to be. Not only are you going to deal with the hail, but those are also good places for where you can also see those tornado warnings also come through. Looking at it, we got Stationville, looks like Eastview,
Yep, Stantonville. Yep.
and yeah, those areas. And knowing that it's going northeast, you're of course going to want to worry for your towns, yeah, to the northeast
Yeah,
of
let's go ahead and
where
track
it
some of
is
that out.
going.
So if we were to go to the northeast, let's just take this out a little bit, folks, with where it is tracking right now. Let's say that it's moving in at its current speed at about 45 miles per hour. So Pittsburgh Landing, we have an arrival of about 10 minutes. Savannah, you're about 17 minutes out from starting to see the heart of this. In Bucktown, you're about 22 minutes out. And that is, of course, just a kind of a rough radar estimate here with the track that we're seeing right now. So we just want folks to bring that to your attention. That is a radar estimate of some of those tracks right now with this particular storm. And so as we start to branch out a little bit, we have several different active warnings right now. We have not only a tornado warning at the state line, but folks, I want to really tell you that as we look at the big picture here, let's bring the whole state into view. What you see on the right hand of your screen, that's going to include places like Nashville, and actually let me make this full screen for you, friends, because I realize I'm talking about something you can't see. All right, so as we go full screen with this, you can see the yellow colors there to the right in Nashville. So that's going to be your tornado watch, and that was expected. We had one for West Tennessee that's going to be in effect for the next few hours until about 11 p.m. This new tornado watch that encompasses a lot of Middle Tennessee is going to be in effect for the next several hours until 7 hours, and the wind advisory in effect for 11 hours. And Payne, it is just fascinating to watch the power of this storm rush in. So when you've experienced some of these conditions, you're in Martin, Tennessee tonight. You had a little bit of a first wave come in. Have you started to feel any cooler temperatures yet, or is it still holding? Do you think we're going to still hold on to some of those warmer temperatures until this main line passes through?
I believe, Will, that the temperatures they're gonna probably definitely drop as soon as this storm gets through, especially this site that we got. From the first wave, I wasn't able yet to go outside to see, but I feel like probably the temperatures have lowered a little bit. But
Yeah.
again, as soon as this second wave should be going by, we're definitely going to see those temperatures dropping even more.
And we could see them drop, folks, as much as down to the 20s tonight. Here's a live look at Linden, Tennessee. This is Perry County. The wind is there. You can see the flags move every now and then, but no precip and nothing on the horizon yet of concern. But that's a different story when we take you down near the state line. And I'm going to keep this one up here for a while just to kind of check this out because this is very interesting to see. This incredible amount of lightning. Very electric storm, very powerful storm with this, and we still do have that tornado warning in effect for parts of Hardin County and parts of McNairy County. It is going to be there for another 16 minutes. Out ahead of that, once that changes, folks, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning to greet it there on the other side. So the good news is with every scan, Payne, we are starting to see a little bit of a change. We're starting to see as these hail cores kind of grow, and I'm going to make this, yeah, it is full screen right now. So as we can see that there, what I'm going to do is switch radar sites for us. And we're going to actually bring up, I think, the, let's stay on, I think we're on Memphis radar now. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring this on Memphis radar. So this is the latest refresh scan from direct from our Memphis National Weather Service radar site. And unfortunately, Payne, we're still seeing some very troubling conditions there. Now moving just south of Savannah, because we can definitely see that hail being possible. And if we bring this track in, let's go ahead and do one more track here for folks, and move over one of these hail cores, and we're going to actually go the same route and the same speed that the radar system is putting on there. So places like Nixon, you're about 12 minutes away from seeing this. Maddox, 16 minutes away, and Big Ivy, about 26 minutes away from all of this. But that's going to be that particular part of the storm, that particular area that could possess some hail. And we have had some hail reports tonight. And we're going to bring those to you here in just a few moments as we kind of take a look at some of the overall storm reports. Another thing that's very interesting, we're going to bring this way back out for you, friends, is something that we saw earlier here tonight. And I'm going to see if I can widen out. We'll go back to the composite view, which is a blend of a lot of the different radars that we have available to us. We actually have some light snow reports that are coming in places like Arkansas that have already passed this. They've had that quick temperature drop. And behind it, they're already seeing a few snow flurries. That's not going to be the headliner. That's not going to be the main concern for us. It is going to be these storms. But Payne, I'm glad to see, because I feel like the difference in, let's say, 3 hours ago from things that we were monitoring in portions of Arkansas compared to what we're seeing now. I'm not seeing as many tornado warnings pop along this line. It looks like we could be losing a little bit of the energy, which when we get into the nighttime hours, even though the hazards, and it is so dangerous to have these nighttime storms, we do lose a little bit of the sun's energy. We lose a little bit of that cooling. Tell us what's happening here, because it does feel like, and I'll see if you agree, that it looks like we're losing a little bit of this energy. Still have plenty to worry about. Don't want to let your guard down, but it does seem like we're losing a little bit of steam.
Yes, Will. We definitely, from how it was about like an hour or two ago, I'm definitely seeing not as many tornado warnings at the moment. And there is maybe a couple tornado watches still out there, but from more focused, the tornado warnings, they definitely have gone down as they start moving into Middle Tennessee. So I do have hopefully some big hopes that when they get into Middle Tennessee, there shouldn't be that many tornado warnings.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope that this continues its trend of losing a little bit of steam, losing a little bit of energy there as we approach, because really we do have and I want to be clear, folks, from really state line to state line at this point. Let me see if there is a way to show this to you a little bit better. Yeah, so from just south of Murray, Kentucky there, all the way down to LaGrange and in Selmer, McNairy County, all of these areas are under some type of severe thunderstorm warning at this point. What we are most concerned about is this possible rotation from what is this very healthy cell here, that is actually in front of what we're calling the main line. But Payne, in a situation like this, when we have this leading edge, we have this line, does it help to take some of the energy away from what will be that main line behind it?
I would say so. If we want this tornado to hopefully die down, especially for the tornado warning, we definitely want it to try to lose as much energy as it can.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to be happening here with this particular system, with this particular line. It seems to be taking a lot of that energy out right now, and hopefully not producing as many warnings with rotation that we're seeing. And we have some of this starting to break up as well, and so that's going to be very, very good for us to see here this afternoon. All right, so I want to go ahead and give a heads up. Let's start talking about some areas that need to be on standby, and that's going to be Paris in Henry County. You're about to get in on some of this action. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Paris and Henry County, surrounding areas going on down to Camden, Huntington. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 40 minutes or so. The good news is this line is moving fast. And that is the main line that you're seeing there on your screen. Big Sandy, you have some hail possible with this storm that's approaching you on 641. As we move down, we're going to have to places like Parsons, Decaturville. You're just about to get in on some of this storm activity as well. So go ahead and make sure that you are in a safe shelter, a substantial shelter at this point, just because we have some very powerful wind gusts associated with this. And again, you have that hail possibility, so you don't want to be on the road with any of this tonight. You want to go ahead and make sure that you are in a safe building as this races through. Another severe thunderstorm warning that I want to talk to you about tonight is this one's happening here. This is going to be hail that has been observed. So this is a change from what we were talking about. Inch and a quarter size hail that has been observed, meaning they've picked it up. And if you have any hail reports tonight for us, folks, feel free to leave that in the chat. And try to give us an indication. Let's say that you feel like you hear it hitting the roof and you look outside. Give us a comparison of what you think that is size-wise, because it helps us to tell the story, helps us to relay that to the National Weather Service even. So if you have hail and you're like, well, it's about dime size. I don't have a dime with me, but you know what the size of a dime is. Or pea-size hail, something like that. Give us something that we can compare it to, and that'll help us to tell the story tonight. We welcome all of you watching on our digital partners and listening to us on the radio. This is live severe weather coverage from SevereView. I'm Will Nunley, along with meteorologist Payne Smith, and our WeatherWise exclusive WeatherWise partner system that we're watching, brought to you as a public service by Quality Building Supply. That's what you see on your screen tonight, along with our network of cameras. We have Savannah, Tennessee on the screen, as well as an incredible lightning display that's going to keep things moving in Hardin County tonight. Let's get to some of your questions here. Jacks Creek, Sue, she's asking about Jacks Creek. Yes, you do have Jacks Creek on the radar tonight. We were talking about that just a moment ago, so you need to be in your safe shelter because you are under one of those severe thunderstorm warnings, I do believe, right now at this particular time. You're watching in Hohenwald again, as I think it's Donnie, or hi there, Donnie. Appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching with the Lewis County Herald, one of our partners there that's streaming us tonight, go ahead and get ready. It's going to be a little loud. You're going to experience something in Hohenwald tonight. You'll have some of this lightning, and without a doubt, you're going to have some of this cool air as it rushes in behind it. We still have a few minutes remaining on this tornado warning. This is the only tornado warning, I believe, in the state right now, which is a good thing. A very, very good thing, because we were watching, Payne, this line coming in earlier tonight. You know, we've been watching it, as I'm sure you have, coming in from Arkansas today, even down parts towards Louisiana, as far down as Baton Rouge. We just had this really powerful line brewing up, and it was just stacked with tornado warnings. That had the heat of the day, that had the sun. Much different scenario now, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes, Will. Those, yeah, especially when the sun was out, it helped with all those tornado warnings that you could definitely see. But of course, as we see that line start to get more into middle Tennessee, and then of course, the sun's been already going down, and nighttime, it's pretty much kind of like, again, it's made it lose all that energy. And so that's why, as of right now, a lot of those tornado warnings have started to go away. But you're going to still have to be careful for the towns that will be having those red zones come in of those very high winds and those possible chances of hail.
And we're getting some new guidance in tonight at this hour from the National Weather Service. Wind gusts ranging from 55 to 70 miles per hour. There are storms ahead of this squall line, and they are helping to relieve some of the energy, but still there's going to be plenty of energy to cause trouble tonight. The straight line damaging winds are the primary threat, and also some hail that is associated with this as well. As we kind of check in on our friends in Memphis as well, we don't have a whole lot of storm reports, so we don't have a lot of damage reports, and that's good. However, it takes time sometimes for these reports to start to filter in as we kind of move past some of this. But friends, if you're streaming along for us tonight, and anywhere that you start to see on the other side to the let's see, the western side of places like Trenton. So if you're in Dyersburg, Ripley, Covington, Millington, and even Memphis, you're in much better condition tonight. Once this moves through, it is through. And you're just going to get cold, but that's it. A lot of the storm activity, maybe a few lingering showers we're seeing out there on the Memphis radar, but not a lot. What we are most concerned about for the next few minutes while this warning is still active. But folks, even if, and this tornado warning is going to be active for about 5 more minutes as it pushes into, or the area that they were worried about pushes into Hardin County. But most of it is already there, friends, because let's go ahead and take you there in real time with our camera. And this camera at this point is going to be right on it. So what you're going to see is a lot of very frequent lightning with this. We have some folks that are watching us on our partner stations as well. We have WANT. We want to welcome all of you streaming there from Middle Tennessee. And Melissa's wanting to know, is this warm storm coming towards Murfreesboro? Right now, we don't have any indication, Melissa, that this tornado warning is even going to continue past the next 5 minutes. It may be reissued if they continue to see some rotation. But I will tell you, Melissa, and Payne, you can back me up if I'm off on this, but we have a lot to change between. There's going to be a lot of story with this storm between now and when it reaches places like Lebanon, Wilson County, Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, because we've already seen a pretty significant loss of some of the energy here. And so we don't quite know how this is going to shape up until you get really a county or two out from a place like Murfreesboro, because Payne, we could still continue to see some of this dissipate a little bit.
Yes, Will. Looking at Corinth, it's definitely, I'm not seeing so much major signs of it to probably still continue moving northeast. It definitely seems that it should hopefully die down by the 5 minutes coming. And hopefully we're just going to again see mostly those high winds and small possibilities of some hail.
Yeah. And that's going to continue in places like Kendrick and Southside, in Nixon, moving up towards Walkertown. So these are the areas when you see the purples and even kind of the that flashing kind of black to clear area though in your screen. That's what they're talking about there. And it looks like they may have gone ahead and reissued another one here. It looks like we do have a new tornado warning to talk about. Not surprising, because for all the reasons we were just talking about, we still have that pretty healthy hail core, and that's happening just over Savannah right now. We're going to continue to leave the camera up on your screen. Real quick though, I want to make radar full screen because I want to be able to show you the most important thing we can do is convey exactly the areas that we're talking about. So this is the brand new tornado warning. This is going to encompass places like Walkertown, downtown Savannah, you're part of this, Crossroads, Olive Hill, Big Ivy. And then we start to move into the Clifton Junction around 641 and 64. An early heads up to you in places like Clifton, because this could be on your doorstep here soon. Let's get you the wording, though, from the National Weather Service. And here's the latest as it's coming into us. This is going to be a tornado warning that is in effect for parts of Hardin County. At 8:41, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Pickwick Dam and the Pickwick Landing State Park, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Quarter-size hail is a possibility with this, as well as radar-indicated tornado. So this includes places like Savannah, Pickwick Landing State Park, Olive Hill, Counts, Hamburg, Brewston Branch, Maddox, Walkertown, Olive Hill, and Childers Hill. So these are some of the areas that we are talking about with this new tornado warning in effect until 9:15. And here we are at about 8:45. So we have a good 30 minutes or so left with this one here. We're going to be with it for, 32 minutes with this particular tornado warning. So what you see flashing behind it here, really a lot of that is moved out of the way of places like Adamsville. So you're still going to get in on a second round of storms. But right now, what we see over areas like Bolivar, we don't have continued warnings being declared there. Parsons, Decaturville, get ready. You're about to have a little bit of storm activity through there as well. Big Sandy, I'm going to be keeping an eye on what's happening here with this particular hail core and all through Paris. You still have some energy there that could spin up something, so we're going to keep our eyes there as well. But this is going to be right now. And Payne, I think that once we start to get into, we've crossed over Savannah and in Clifton, this kind of moves things into the National Weather Service office in Nashville, and that's where we're going to start tracking things. But we're going to have a noisy night at least, because we got a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. We've had our first rumbles of thunder here tonight at our studios. Brandon's asking, is that tornado near Savannah? And yes, so if you're in Savannah and Hardin County, you need to be in your shelter right now. You need to be in the lowest floor of a building. You need to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you need to go to a bathroom, make sure you bring some covers with you. Make sure you bring a pillow, things like that. But if you are in the Savannah and Hardin County area, you are under a tornado warning right now, and I need you to go ahead and be in your safe shelter. Rayleigh says that Rayleigh, I believe, and you're going to need to go there quickly, you're asking about shelters for Wayne County, and it was our understanding that the bottom of the courthouse is open in Waynesboro, so if you are close to the square, you can get there. But if you are in a remote part of Wayne County, you may want to make a judgment call if you're better to shelter at home, because what we don't want you to be is out on the road as these conditions worsen, and we want to make sure that you are not out traveling during this. So Rayleigh, if you are still streaming with us here, you can go, I believe we were told, to the Waynesboro Courthouse. And folks, if you are wondering about specific shelter sites, there is a way to know that by calling your local emergency management office. So every county does have a severe I have multiple things going in my ear, an emergency management office, and they will know specifically where those shelter locations are. Let's talk about what's happening here in Decatur County. Payne, nothing too crazy with this particular storm. This is under a severe thunderstorm warning in places like Holiday, Sugar Tree, but I'm not seeing anything in there that is too concerning outside of some normal thunderstorm activity that we'd expect to see in a place like this. That's kind of how it's shaping up, and this is going to be rolling into Perry County here shortly. I know that we have a lot of folks that are streaming along with us here that may want to know this, and this is still kind of a northeast. Let's go ahead and track some of this for us. And let's get on, let's kind of just put it in the center of Parsons here, moving, let's see, northeast at about 45, 48, so let's go track this, let's plot this at 45. And so Lobelville, you're looking at about 32 minutes before the first wave of this thunderstorm activity is going to move towards you. Centerville, you're a little bit less than an hour away, and that has to do, again, with the activity that we are seeing right there. And so as we start to slide back down here, just south of Clifton, here is our only tornado warning right now active in the state of Tennessee, and that's going to be for our friends in Hardin County. Martins Mills, I need you to go ahead and prepare at this time. Olive, Crossroads, Clifton Junction. Make sure that all of you are going to go ahead, even though you are outside of the polygon. The actual warned areas, what you see flashing on your screen, and that's going to be for places like Olive Hill, downtown Savannah, Big Ivy. All of you need to be inside your shelter at this time. This is a live look from Savannah. This camera is directly inside this warmed cell at this point. And what are we looking for here? Well, it's hard to tell. That's why these storms are incredibly dangerous sometimes to verify with your eye at night. You have to hope that, of course, that you can catch a glimpse of some of the lightning and see what you can see, which is why we have this pulled up for you. But not seeing any immediate rotation there, at least from that vantage point, Payne. But boy, does this storm have a lot of lightning with it.
It absolutely does.
It's just an incredible view as we take that in, and every now and then you can see them start to kind of move that camera around. You can see the corner of the tower there because they're moving that kind of in and out, scanning the direction of where they believe some of the storm may be centered. So we'll leave that up for you because I know that you want to see this. And if you'll give me just a second here, folks, what I'm going to do is check in on some of our storm reports right now and see if we have any of the latest. So we're going to have a severe thunderstorm warning coming out. They're letting us know, let's see what time, 8:44. So this is going to be coming out for portions of Perry and Wayne County. So this is one that popped up just a second ago. This does include portions of southern Perry County and all of Wayne County. Let me give you some specifics on this one. The National Weather Service in Nashville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County in Middle Tennessee and southern Perry County until 9:30. At 8:44, a severe thunderstorm was located, of course, near Savannah, moving northeast at 55. You can have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and hail damage to your vehicles. This is going to include places like Waynesboro, Collinwood, Clifton, Flatwoods, and Lutz. Now, folks, this does not include downtown Linden, but for this particular warning. What they're doing is basically expanding this area, and you can see it here. Let me make it full screen, because this is going to be the severe thunderstorm warning area outside of a more centralized, a more condensed, if you will, area or polygon around the tornado warning, and that's going to be here along Highway 64 and Highway 69. So this is the area that you see flashing in red. That's going to be the current tornado warning. What you see behind it in orange is going to be the expanded severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be in effect for quite a while. We have about 40 minutes on it, and that's going to give those folks time to prepare. And Hohenwald, here's your early heads up right now. Because this severe it'll probably still, I would expect, Payne, still kind of, even if we lose the tornado warning, it's still going to hold on probably to those severe qualities, those those limits that they start to issue at least a severe thunderstorm warning. So an early heads up for Hohenwald, because it doesn't look like this thing's giving up anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Will. I've been also looking, and it just looks to be as this tornado warning we have around near the Savannah area is only one we got. Pretty much all up northern of Tennessee, we're just seeing is those severe thunderstorm warnings. And of course, you gave those warnings, and I definitely agree with going on with Waynesboro. Definitely needs to go ahead and get ready for it for what possibly it might get to its way. Clifton, let's see, we got Clifton, Walnut Grove, all those areas, pretty much all those areas that you've said before, they definitely need to be prepared, get in their safe places if they have one. And because we have an idea if this tornado could possibly go ahead and hopefully maybe end down, or it could somehow find a way to build up, and it could grow.
Yeah, we're hoping certainly that this is it's gonna wear itself out, because when we look at what is happening, this entire line, especially this secondary line, and let's kind of reset. Even though I hate to leave this incredible lightning show here, I want to kind of zoom out just a little bit and give you the larger perspective of portions of West and Middle Tennessee. So what you're seeing along places like Dover. And let's talk about that right there. Moving here into Parsons, Decaturville is just about to cross the Tennessee River there. And then this active tornado warning in Savannah and Hardin County. This is ahead of what we're calling the main line. Now, these two lines, which is your cold front here, they are starting to consolidate. They are getting closer and closer together. But we don't have, at least behind it here, a lot of these areas that are showing signs of rotation. And another thing I want you to think about, folks, is because when we have these powerful wind gusts that they're talking about here tonight, that we have the possibility for a spin-up tornado, at least a low-end spin-up tornado at any point when you have areas that are under severe thunderstorm warnings, excuse me. And if you're anywhere along this squall line, this front here tonight, because you could have that wind change directions quickly. You could have, let's say, for example, an EF1 kind of low-end spin-up tornado happen. It could happen so quickly that they may not even have a chance to see it, pinpoint it, and warn it before it is, maybe messed up a few trees and then started to go up into the sky, or start to dissipate before it's a problem. So that can all happen very quickly. And I tell you that just because I want you to pay special attention. And yeah, you heard the dog there, folks. We are operating a full-on shelter here. I've got my dog, like you, friends. I'm no different. I've got the dogs here standing at my feet. We've got some of our neighbors out in the hallway seeking shelter in our studios. So we're just like home around here, okay? But what I'm trying to tell you here is that the ingredients are all there, and it can change rapidly with a system like this. And this is what the National Weather Service has been pinpointing to us now for a couple of days, is that possibility for very quick spin-up tornadoes that are possible with this. Riley saying Waynesboro needs to get in shelter. Yes, Riley, you need to be in a shelter. If you are in Waynesboro, I want you to be there. Go ahead now and just find you a safe place. No need to panic. Take your time. But I want you to realize that the system, right now there is not an active tornado warning for Waynesboro. There is a severe thunderstorm warning. But where we have this active tornado warning right now that you're seeing at least the lightning from there in Savannah, Tennessee, that is all moving due northeast, right towards Waynesboro, actually. So if it holds up with its current track, as a matter of fact, folks, here's what I'm going to do is put it in motion for you just a little bit. Let's go through the last few frames of the radar, and you can see its movement. So there it is, picking up just outside of Stantonville, moving up towards Walkertown, and now making its way towards Olive Hill. So you see the direction it's heading, and that direction includes downtown Waynesboro. So I want you to be prepared for that, okay? Collinwood, not a bad idea to be in shelter just because you are going to still get a lot of the wind. You're still going to get a lot of the lightning too. So if you have the ability to go ahead to the lowest level of your home, perhaps a basement, and you can still watch or stream along, go ahead and do that because we want you to go ahead and be safe as well. Casey's wanting to know, is it past Savannah? Yes. We're going to pull up some of the last frames of radar, and actually I think that we could probably go ahead and bring it full screen for you, and we'll stop it on its last frame, and let's see how downtown Savannah is looking right now. And it's looking much better. So a lot of what has been the hail core or the warned area of this particular storm is now starting to move out of Savannah. But if you're in Nixon, Big Ivy, Olive Hill, Martins Mills, I still want you to be on alert for this because it's moving on northeast, and especially for places like Waynesboro, I want you to be on alert as well. Is Adamsville, we're having Resi ask, is Adamsville clear from the tornado warnings? Yes, you are. Selmer, Adamsville, you're still going to get, doesn't mean you're not going to get more impacts, because look here. Look what's on your doorstep, and I'm going to make this full screen again. Look what's on your doorstep for Selmer. That's the actual big line, okay? But the big line is not rotating, does not have a whole lot of rotating storms in it. So we have not seen really any tornado warnings at all with the main line. So as this moves through places like Bolivar and Bethel Springs, right now we are still warned with this because it's heavy rain, it's frequent lightning, it's heavy wind gusts, but no tornado warning. So if you're asking specifically about Adamsville, and yes, you're clear at this time. If you have any questions about where you live and what may be coming, I'll do my best to answer them for you. I'm Will Nunley here along with meteorologist Payne Smith. We're watching weather-wise SevereView radar for you tonight, brought to you as a community service of Quality Building Supply. And we have a lot to track tonight. It's going to be a busy night for us here in the Weather Center as we have a lot to see in real time from this camera that we've been watching now for at least almost an hour now, because we have watched this move up from just south of Corinth, and we've watched this storm in the distance, and now here it is right up on us. And we appreciate Hardin County Emergency Management for sharing this incredible view here tonight. And if you're in the Savannah area, tell us what this has been like for you. Give us a description here in chat if you can safely, and let us know, have you started to feel a temperature change? Did you see any of the hail? And let us know that what's happening there. Haley's wanting to know about Summertown, Tennessee. You got a little while, Haley, before this is going to be in Summertown, but it is sure enough going to be there. The question is going to be, at what level of severity? Are we going to be at a severe thunderstorm warning at that point, or are we going to be possibly something a little bit more? So be prepared, because what we're seeing, and so we've got Summertown here. Let's go ahead and put Summertown on the screen, right? So let's put this into motion just a little bit, and you can see exactly where this is all starting to trend. And looks like absolutely that once we move past Waynesboro, we're once again in a scenario where areas like Hohenwald and Summertown need to be watching for changing conditions, because you're probably going to be wrapped up in a severe thunderstorm warning at some point, either with this particular cell or maybe even with the secondary line that's coming through. Looks like we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, Payne, to talk about, and these are going to continue along the line here. And this one's stretching really all the way from Wildersville, north of Lexington, all the way down to the state line south of Selmer. This is a little bit out of our core coverage area, but it's worth mentioning just because this is going to be what's on our doorstep here before too long. So this is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Henderson, eastern Hardeman, McNary, southeastern Madison, Chester, and central Decatur County in West Tennessee, which is kind of our area. Until 9:45, at 8:47, a severe thunderstorm was located along a line extending from Wildersville to near Pocahontas, moving east at 45 miles per hour. I would love to see these move at a little bit faster, Payne, but I can still deal with 45 miles an hour because it at least keeps them moving, right?
Yes, it does. As long as they can just keep moving, and I mean overall, if it just stays moving, that's all we
Yeah,
need
yeah. We
because
get them,
we
get them at
won't
a
want
decent
is
pace.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do not want these to go at a very slow pace.
That's right. And so we have this live look for you here, folks, in Linden, Tennessee tonight. Rainy streets as some of the shower activity starts there. And we'll take you another perspective of Linden as well. And we'll start to see some lightning pop in the distance there, but we're not quite yet. The main show that we can show you is going to be here in Savannah. We actually have a Clifton cam. I'm going to see if I can find that for just a little while. Anessa's asking about Lexington, Tennessee, and you have gone through a little bit of round one. And Lexington, you are in the middle of round 2 right now. So all along 412, stretching down to Highway 22 as well. So places like Henson Springs, Center Hill, Timberlake, yeah, you're all in it right now. But once you're past this in just a little while, once this last bit of the shower activity that's over Jackson moves through, it's going to be smooth sailing from there. Because when we start to look, even portions of western Madison County, back to Brownsville, looking much, much better, because you see what starts to happen, folks, as we widen the view. We just get a much better picture overall of what's happening with calming skies down from Trenton to Brownsville. We'll all be there eventually before the night's over. Let me take you in here to Perry County, getting some questions about that tonight. Burnt Church in Savannah, Kimberly is saying it is hailing and it is rough here in Burnt Church in Savannah, Hardin County. Kimberly, thank you for that report. Stay safe. I want you to stay in your shelter if you are outside of Savannah. Let's see, Burnt Church. Let me pull up exactly maybe where you're talking about, and see how long it takes me to find that on the map, because that's going to be here in this, I think just inside the warned area. You may be past it now, but I am glad that you were out of that, especially in downtown Savannah. Looks like it's starting to improve there. So Kimberly, stay in your safe place, but when you get a second, if you have a way to kind of tell me the size of the hail that you've experienced there in a safe way, feel free to share that with us, okay? You're looking at a live picture on your screen right now of Hardin County. This is the middle of the only tornado warning that we have in the state at this point, and this is going to be remaining in effect for about 15 more minutes for Hardin County, and that's what you see on your screen. When we pull this up full screen, we take a look inside the storm. We are seeing the majority of the hail, looks like, Payne, that's going to be centered over Clifton Junction. So places like Houston, you are not in the tornado warning area yet, but this is moving quickly. It's morphing, it's changing. So the areas that may have had hail before have changed just a little bit. Let me put this in motion and I'll show you exactly what I mean when I say that. So you can see the hail starts to consolidate around places like Counts. You see how that kind of just disappears? So that it is able to dissipate as it gets around the Counts area. And then right now what we're focused on is going to be this area here along Olive Hill and Clifton Junction, just south of the town of Clifton. And so anywhere, as we start to look near Mooney and Leatherwood and Waynesboro, please make sure that you are aware of what's on your doorstep here, because you are under a severe thunderstorm warning for quite, let's see here, they've just brought this one because this is the one that includes portions of Perry County just south of Linden, and that's going to be in effect for another 27 minutes. So a decent pace with some of this. Around what time is that second line going to hit Adamsville? We're getting a question in from Shayla here tonight. Let's bring in here to Adamsville and take a look at that. I'm going to have to stop the motion here just a little bit, and I will give you an estimate. So if we continue a little bit of this northeasterly movement, let's put a track on this, and I'm just going to put just a general track and try to include Adamsville and kind of tell me what it's looking like at about 47 miles per hour. So Selmer, you're less than 12 minutes away. These are radar estimated arrival times for Adamsville, less than 28 minutes away, 33 minutes for Crump, and 33 minutes for Morris Chapel. That is a rough estimate, radar estimate of arrival times for those areas. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning for Selmer and for Adamsville, portions of Adamsville. You can see it's kind of split there. But we have two different areas of thunderstorm activity there around Adamsville, but that's what you're seeing. And boy, we can hear those wind gusts pick up here tonight. At our studio location, we are right here, folks. This is the Pineview area, and I know that a lot of us are streaming along, and I appreciate everybody watching tonight on our live stream on our radio partner, WOPC. We are, I don't even think, Payne, that we're in a warning at this part. No, looks like we're in between two, or they may have just issued one. No, maybe a special weather statement. Let me see what this is. Yeah, it's a special weather statement. Okay, so this is a strong, we're getting a strong thunderstorm, they say. So that's what's impacting us here. So we're surrounded on either side by a severe thunderstorm warning. But the reason I'm pointing that out is not only do I hear it out my back door, but it just shows you don't have to be in the middle. And Payne, I think that's worth talking about too. You don't have to be in the middle of a tornado warning to have very significant weather.
Yes, and no matter where you are, especially if you're just overall in that huge storm cell, it's still not, I mean, even in the green area, you still want to be prepared. You still want to stay inside because you don't know when that red zone can get to you.
And we're talking about, when he mentions the green area there with some of the light shower activity coming in, we're talking about places like Hohenwald, Mount Pleasant, Summertown, Lawrenceburg. You're just getting the showers, some of the leading edge showers associated with this storm and the heavier activity not far behind. We're going to bring a composite here, and this is going to give us a blend of several different radars from across the area, and we'll zoom in closer as we start to get a little bit closer to the Nashville radar site. But this is one of those areas, folks, where when we talk about the radar capabilities in places like Hardin County, it gets a little rough because you're at the very end of the radar beam from both Nashville and Memphis. And what that means is the radar is looking very high in the atmosphere for signs of hail and things like that that could be producing a tornado. And so if you are anywhere in Waynesboro, Collinwood, Flatwoods, I still want you to be very careful and be off the roads. Let's be in our significant shelter, because this is the system, the only system, or the only cell, I should say, along with this line that has prompted a tornado warning in a couple of our areas tonight. So that's what we're seeing here in Clifton, Waynesboro. And we don't have much time left on this, so it looks like about 8 minutes left of this tornado warning that is happening there near the Savannah and Hardin County area along Highway 64. All right, see here. Very calm and crump. I'm glad to hear that. And we appreciate everybody that's sending us your questions tonight. I'm scanning, I promise, and I'm going to do the very best that I can. Carolyn, you're wanting to know about Knoxville. Well, you got a while. As a matter of fact, you're going to be closer to sunrise almost before Knoxville is going to be the issue. And I think that this is going to change dramatically in terms of strength by the time that we start to talk about a Knoxville arrival. That's a little bit out of our coverage area tonight. We don't even have watches up for that portion of the state yet. I expect for them to come as you start to have that National Weather Service office there in Morristown chime in on things a little bit later. We'll start to probably have some of those watches issued. But for now, you are hours and hours away from that being an impact. But that does give us a good reminder here tonight to make sure that you have multiple ways to receive warnings. We appreciate you streaming along with us, and we're of course going to do the very best we can to bring you these warnings in real time. But make sure you have a NOAA weather radio. If you have one of those, dust it off, plug it in, maybe put the battery in the back. If you have your cell phones on silent, Payne, I know that we're all guilty sometimes of going to sleep with the cell phones on silent, but this is one of those times where you want to go ahead and make sure that you turn the ringers on, turn those alerts on tonight, because this could be one of the nights that you need it.
Yes, I would definitely recommend that. I get a lot of notifications from many weather apps that I follow, and it's definitely best, definitely please have those notifications on, because they give constant reports and updates for how these storms are looking and where they plan on going.
That's right, and they could wake you up in the middle of the night and be an important life-saving tool, a lifeline for you. So have
they
multiple
sure will.
ways. Yeah, have multiple ways. All right, let's head back now to Maine Radar, and this is our WeatherWise. We're an exclusive WeatherWise partner here at SevereView, and we appreciate their partnership as well, as we have several different storms that we're watching here tonight. Here's some good news, and again, with every scan that we're getting in, we're seeing some improvements along other areas of this line. So if you're in places like Camden, yeah, you're getting a storm, but it's not at all warned under like a tornadic condition. We don't have a lot of rotation with this, so we're even seeing some breaks in the line a little bit. So we move into places like Clarksburg and Holiday. You're going to have the winds. You're certainly going to know it, folks, when this front is over you. However, you may not have any type of tornado warning, which is going to be great. I'm still going to spend some time here, and as a matter of fact, not to drive you nuts here with zooming around too much, people. Sorry if I'm giving you whiplash. But what I want to do is bring in our radar system from Nashville at this point. So we're taking this off the composite scan, and this is just what Nashville weather radar is seeing right now. So this is, as this storm line moves closer now towards Middle Tennessee, we can rely on this radar a little bit more. But look at Waynesboro here. And also, I'll tell you what, if I were to stick a camera outside the door, folks, I could show you everything that's happening here, because this is literally right over our studio right now where you're seeing. I'm glad that we still have power. But what you see here on your screen with these hail possibilities, this hail core, these lightning strikes that are happening. Let's see if we could turn on our, I think that we have and I'll find it here in a minute, folks, but we'll get our lightning measurements in here as well, because very frequent lightning along with this. But this is not even in a severe thunderstorm warned area, but it is loud outside. And that's what you're going to experience along this front, really, no matter where you are tonight. It just matters if you're also going to have that hail and any possible of rotating thunderstorms along with this. Let's bring you back down here to Waynesboro real quick, because this is an area that we were talking about just a moment ago. Look how quickly now that this has moved out of the severe thunderstorm, or out of the tornado warned area, now into that severe thunderstorm warned area. And all of those same concerns, though, are still there, because we still have that hail possibility along Highway 64. And as we look over to our neighbors here to the west, only about 4 minutes left on that tornado warning, but really most of that concern has passed out of the area. We're now talking about Waynesboro. We're talking about Leatherwood. We're talking about this area here along Highway 13, moving into Mount Hope. And this is what I want you to be watching for right now. We can see this as we put it into motion and bring this on into the screen here. See how that starts to impact downtown Waynesboro. So, folks, if you're in that shelter, if you have friends and family in that downtown Waynesboro shelter, make sure they stay there for a little while. Want them to be there for the next 20 or 30 minutes or so while this goes ahead and passes through. And that's what we're looking at on the big screen. We'll flip that over and show you full screen on radar as well. If you're streaming along on social media and you want to put this on the TV and stay with us, we invite you to do that. And the best way to do that is to download the free Access Tennessee app on Roku. And you can find us there live streaming, and that way you can feel free to get back on Facebook and share messages with your friends and stream us in real time. So Payne, looks like, because we've been making so much noise with this storm, looks like they have now included portions of Perry County into this severe thunderstorm warning. Not a surprise, because once again, we're starting to see that hail build up over there, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I can definitely see, as you know, it's starting to move more into Middle Tennessee, and so you still got those dark spots, especially you got the red spots of those, you got those high winds, and of course those possible chances of hail.
All along the Crooked Creek area too. And we look at the view, we just had that hail possibility. Oh no, I'm gonna go out and check the car in a minute. Ugh. The car that I left outside the carport, because our carport collapsed because of the ice storm. So that's where we are with things. We haven't even had time to clean up after one storm before here we are in the middle of another. And I know that's the situation with a lot of you. So let's talk about this new severe thunderstorm warning, because this is going to be for portions of northern Perry County. This does include the town of Lobelville. This is going to be south of Interstate 40, right here in our backyard. So areas like Pine View, where we are, Blue Sky, Crooked Creek, you're in the middle of it. So if I have some friends down here, do I have some of my local friends here in Perry County? If you would tell me what you're experiencing, especially in the Crooked Creek area and portions of Lobelville, if you're getting some of this hail, be sure to let me know, because we want to be able to describe that and relay that information in, because we definitely have the heavy rain. Here's our scan refresh coming in from the National Weather Service office in Nashville. Looks like we have, as we kind of widen the view there, looks like we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no less than 5 different severe thunderstorm warnings all along this line that's slowly starting to converge. We do have one kind of definition of a storm line in front of the other, and that's what we're seeing here. Lobelville, this is really starting to become impressive with the amount of hail that is possible. And if we look at the two storms that are in southern Middle Tennessee at this point, you almost want to draw your attention to what's happening here in Lobelville in Perry County, because this has gained so much strength with the hail core. And that's the concern that we're looking at right now. As this starts to move out of the Savannah, Tennessee area, I'm going to see if we can't bring up another camera for you tonight, friends. And that's going to be, this is a live look from our WNKX broadcasting tower in Centerville, Hickman County. I might pivot this one over just a little bit. I know it looks dark because right now there's just nothing to see. That is an actual live image, but right now that has we don't have a lot of the lightning in the distance, so that's good to see there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move that tornado warning off the screen for parts of Savannah and Hardin. I'm going to name every H county there is until I finally get the right one. Savannah and Hardin County, that tornado warning has been allowed to expire tonight, which is very good news. And as we start to bring out our wider view of radar tonight, we're going to see that flashing red box that indicates that tornado warning. It will start to fall off here shortly. But still lots of areas of concern. Looks like even a brand new, that one has about 14 minutes of it, and sure enough, there it goes, it disappears. So a severe thunderstorm warning possible for this one, possible tornado rotation, expiring in 14 minutes for portions of Hardin County. And this is going to include areas like the Pickwick Landing State Park, Pollard's Mill, Bruton Branch, Center Star. That's all part of this severe thunderstorm warning that's happening still there in the Hardin County area. Waynesboro, you're in the middle of it right now, but with the very latest scan, a little bit of the hail seems to have calmed down, so we're still going to track that because it's a good ways away from the radar site, so we want to stay on top of that. The biggest area of concern and Payne, when we look at this, still plenty of hail, well organized, all here in the northern part of Perry County, just south of I-40, and that has a little bit of concern to it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And I don't know if you've this yet, but that tornado warning around the Savannah area looks to have gone away.
Yes. Yeah, we've finally been able to say goodbye to that one as well. So that means no active tornado warnings at all in the state of Tennessee at this moment, which is very good news. We're glad to see that. And right now, our focus turns to what is happening here in northern Perry County. Even though we don't have a rotation with this, what we do have is a potential of hail. And what I'm going to do is scan some of our weather reports here. And if you have any of my folks here in Perry County have anything that they want to pass along, if you are experiencing any hail here, we just had plenty of it. The good news is, okay, I'm getting some information here. Give me just 1 second, folks, while I kind of refresh, because both Payne and I are kind of getting different information, and we're scanning over what we've got going on here. It does look like right now the severe thunderstorm warning, let's see, came in about 9, yes, okay. So we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for northern Perry County, and a lot of that is because of that main hail core and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's associated right now with the severe thunderstorm warning that is over northern Perry County. Yeah, quarter-size hail and half-dollar size, and this is almost on top of I-40. And that's coming to us again from the National Weather Service. So if you have folks that are traveling tonight, boy, I hope they aren't. But if they are going to be traveling, maybe moving from, Nashville to Jackson, vice versa, along the interstate tonight, I want to make sure that they're aware of this right here, because this is the most impressive kind of cluster of hail that we have to report at this time. This is under a severe thunderstorm warning This is northern Perry County. This is Lobelville. Let's move some of this. Let's put a track. Let's say that this hail holds together like it is. I'm going to put it exactly as it's tracking on radar. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a track. So this is going to be near Onley in 13 minutes, Bucksnort 14 minutes. Right now it is going to be encompassing the 143 exit along I-40, that's Highway 13, with some very impressive hail through there. Quarter-size hail, the National Weather Service says, is possible with this. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on. All right, let's widen the view here and see where else we have some trouble brewing, and that's going to be a little bit up here near the Dover area and Big Rock. And I'll tell you what, Payne, I want you to do a favor for me. I'm going to mute your mic, and I'm going to send you on a mission. And since you are there in the Martin area, kind of go outside and make an observation for me, because I think that right now you, along with so many people in West Tennessee, are almost behind this front. So I'm very curious just for you to give me an observation. So if you will, head on outside. Yeah. Yeah, head on outside there and see what you can see, and tell me if it's a difference that you can feel temperature-wise, and if there's a way for you to get a reading, go ahead and do that for me, because I think that would be interesting to see. And
I have been texting a couple friends, just seeing whoever has been out there, like, hey, how are we looking at temperatures wise? What do we see damage wise? I've gotten a couple comments back about they've kind of noticed a little bit of it's been a little bit more chilly, and throughout the whole area we're just seeing a lot of just small branches, mostly, that have been just taken out at the moment.
Good, and I'm glad to hear that it hasn't been anything more than that, because you're right, that you want to avoid those larger scale areas of damage, and that kind of trends with what we've been experiencing through a lot. When we scan over the damage reports that are coming into the National Weather Service, a lot of those are on the lower side as well, so that's very good. We even see, and friends, if you look at the screen with me right now, look at places like Sardis, Decaturville. Yeah, they're getting some storms, but they're starting to lighten up a little bit. We're starting to see some relief with some of this line with every scan, and that's really, really good news. Right now, this main story, the headline, is going to be right here in northern Perry County. I'm going to head back to the chat, folks, and so kind of watching some of your comments here tonight, and if you see anything in terms of hail size or hailstones in northern Perry County, please let us know, because that's going to be worth monitoring for us tonight, because we absolutely do think that we could have some significant hail in this area. This is going to be over the Buffalo area right now. If you are in Bucksnort, and let's just kind of move this on out a little bit, because I want to start talking about Hickman County. Let's put this into motion. I want to show you the last few frames as to where this was heading, okay? And so as we move this here, and you can see where it's going into, this is going to just nudge portions of Hickman County, northern Hickman County, the Bucksnort area. Then it's going to start to move into a little bit of the Humphreys County area, and then over there near Tennessee City, McEwen. So yeah, here's an early heads up for places like Tennessee City, even Dixon. This could really start to affect Dixon if it holds together like it is, but it's really affecting us here, not far from our studios, as a matter of fact, all along. And I'm surprised that, wow, that's holding together well, and that is producing the possibility of a lot of hail. Amber's letting us know that it was picking up bad in Waynesboro, and that was just a few minutes ago at about 9:19. We have our friend Stacey Evans on the line tonight, giving us a report here from portions of western Perry County, saying all well on Cedar Creek. She says almost too quiet, almost eerie, she says, too peaceful. Well, Stacey, I'm glad that that's happening for you, because boy, when you look up here along I-40, it's a much different story. Linden, you're looking pretty good right now. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can dip in to downtown Linden here for just a second and see what we can see on that Linden cam, and see if we have any rain happening there. Looks like we're in between showers, and of course that's what shows up on radar as well. Some wind gusts picking up there in downtown Linden every now and then, but luckily we are between showers there, okay? Parsons, it's another story. Parsons and Decaturville, a little bit of hail once again showing up just north of Parsons in the Bible Hill area. But again, folks, this pops up and then it dissipates, and that's the story with this quick moving line. That's why we said there are just so many different hazards possible with a situation like this. And also we have the added frustration and the added concern of trees that have already been weakened because of the ice storm that we had just about a month ago. I want to keep this center screen for you, everybody, because if you're just joining us in our coverage tonight, this is what I want you to know about right now, because of everything we're tracking across the state. This is the area that is producing the most impressive hail right now. And Payne, while I get a drink of water, I'm going to bring back in your mic. I think you had a chance to step out. Any notice of the temperature change there? How are things in Martin?
Yes, Will. So as soon as I stepped out the door, I instantly felt that cold air. It definitely has dropped. The temperatures have definitely dropped. I went a little bit into the road, and I noticed a little bit of the damage. All I really could see was those tiny twigs.
Yeah.
Nothing really severe. Luckily, no fallen trees, thank God.
Good.
But we have just minor damage of just, some small twigs. And you can still feel some wind gusts going through Martin. And that can go for all the other counties that are now far behind that second wave that has thankfully passed through us. So, yeah.
Very good to see. Very good to see. Here is the sky level view of what's happening in Linden. Every now and then you can start to see some of the flashes of lightning there, but I think what we're going to want to watch is going to be portions of our WNKX tower in Centerville. So what I'm going to do is bring in radar on it, because I don't want you to miss a minute of the radar either. And let's bring in that WNKX tower, because, we just missed. I'm sorry, I was trying to bring it up for you folks in time. That was one heck of a lightning strike that we just saw there on our WNKX tower in Hickman County. So we welcome all of you watching. Make sure that you send this along to your neighbors in Hickman County. Let them know that your local radio station, WNKX, is on top of live breaking news tonight, along with this weather as it comes through. We're bringing you information directly from the National Weather Service. My name is Will Nunley. I'm here along with meteorologist Payne Smith, as we're keeping an eye on the skies tonight, tracking these changing conditions. We welcome your questions and comments. We'll do our very best to get those out for you tonight. RD wanted to know, what about Hohenwald? Yeah, we haven't talked about Hohenwald in just a second. So let's do that while we continue this Centerville tower cam view. Let's bring up portions of Hohenwald, and you're in it now, but I'm not seeing a really big hail concern at this moment. A little bit tracking there between you and Summertown. Let's put this in motion a little bit. And it is not as significant or as pronounced of a concern as what we had earlier in places like Waynesboro. So that's good news. But yes, Hohenwald, you are in what I'm going to call your round one of some of this shower and storm activity. You are under severe thunderstorm warning. So let's freeze our radar with the very latest image there. And that's what you see is that shower and storm activity over Hohenwald. It's kind of nudging through Linden at this part. And if you're in Parsons, maybe you're in Holiday, in Lexington, once this rain, the heaviest of the rain stops, you're done for the night. You're going to maybe have a little bit of rain behind it, but nothing severe. And you might even see a flurry. You might get lucky and even see a flurry. So we'll see how that works out. Let me bring back in this tower cam while we have it. Even though we do have a generator on this tower, it notoriously likes to slip out on us. So let's enjoy this view while we have it. And that's going to be looking due west, I believe. Northwest from our tower out there in Centerville. So you're seeing that start to brew on the horizon. And that's looking back at this area that's just still continues to be very concerning. It's now moved north of I-40, but it's all going to be this hail right here. And I moved my mouse too fast. Here we go. All right. So it's going to be this area right here north of I-40 from Hurricane Mills over towards just north of the Furnace. Yeah, let's get some more towns in here. Milltown, Poplar Grove, Water Valley, Bold Spring. These are the areas right now that are going to experience some very interesting hail, dangerous hail. We have folks watching us tonight in Wilson County as well from our friends at WANT in Lebanon. We welcome if you're streaming along with us tonight. And let's visit Lebanon and talk about what you are experiencing right now. And that's going to be a little spotty shower activity, but you do have, of course, this tornado watch that is in effect for 6 more hours and a wind advisory. But the good news is, if we can continue this weakening trend, Lebanon, this may be a little rumble of thunder for you, and hopefully nothing more than that. But we're just going to have to see, because the story is going to be developing for you as we move on in the hour ahead, okay? South of Waverly, between Waverly and Lobelville, this is the area that has the most intense hail. It also has with it a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for about 45 more minutes. The hail reports that we're starting to get 1 inch in diameter hail, and that is very impressive tonight. I'm going to check in on just a couple of storm reports. The good thing is we don't have a lot of rotation right now in any of these storms. Give me just a second here, and I'm going to check in on a few things. I appreciate it, folks, while I scan over all of this, because I want to make sure that what I'm giving you is accurate. So this could be extended, is what they're indicating to us now, which is not a surprise. With a hail core like that, you're going to want to extend this morning on out, and it looks like it may have been now brought into places like Pinewood, because we have a couple of different overlapping warnings here, and I'm not going to be also surprised if this is extended to Dixon County shortly. Right now, I don't see that severe thunderstorm warning brought over that far, but Dixon, I want to go ahead and give you an early heads up to go ahead and get ready for this. Let's bring in the last few scans and show you the movement of this. But boy, Payne, that is a big area of hail. That's enough to, you know, especially it can mess up a car a little bit. I mean, that's enough of that. When you start talking about 1 inch size hail and stronger, that's an area where we could start to have some damage there. So we want folks to be careful there tonight. All right, we are tracking all of this here for you. Excuse me while I am making sure that we have everything that we are scanning here tonight. Excuse me, folks. Just checking in on some of our latest information to make sure that we are good to go on all of this. We're adding some additional viewers and some additional streams here tonight, so I'm just going through a couple of different changes here in the studio, so excuse me while we do this. We welcome all of you watching tonight as well on our Access Tennessee Roku app. You can go into any Roku TV, look up Access Tennessee, and find our free app. Okay, this is a view here from our WNKX tower. Hickman County is going to be under one of these severe thunderstorm warnings right now. It's going to be here from, especially because of this area of hail that is just traveling along I-40. It's going to clip areas like Bucksnort along the interstate there, and so that's what we are watching with this. I know that's a really close view, so I'm going to stop it from moving there. Yikes. You can get dizzy if you're watching that too close, friends. And so we still, again, and look here, folks, because this was calm earlier, and now we're starting to see a little bit of hail possible. Once again, moving into all of us here in Pineview, Spring Creek, Perryville, all of us along the river here. This is going to be where you see these squiggly lines around, you know, Perryville and Cherokee Heights. That's going to be the Tennessee River. And so we have a little bit of hail possible once again, kind of moving through some of these same areas that experienced storms just a moment ago. And so we're hearing some rumbles of thunder at our studios here, and that's going to be this main line, let's call it. For us, it's the secondary line tonight, but it's going to be the main line of storms, and then once that moves through, things are going to be looking much, much better. Loud thunder in Bucksnort. Julie saying she's checking in from Bucksnort tonight, saying loud, loud thunder, and I bet because you've got a heck of a system over your head right now there in just south of Waverly, but right on top of the Bucksnort area. There you are, Julie. So you're not only are you hearing it there at the interstate exit between you and the furnace, but just to your north, that's where a lot of this. So Bold Spring, Hillcrest, Oak Grove, go ahead and get your cars under the carport if you have time, because this is you've got just a few minutes. I want you to do it safely. I want you to do it quickly. Poplar Grove, you need to go ahead and be in shelter. Milltown, forget about it. You need to go ahead. This is already, by the time we would have received the scan, this is already on top of you. So don't worry about that. But even parts of Dixon, let's see what this latest scan, just keeps it there. Whew. Lots of hail there, folks. As we start to look again, once in Perry County, this is where just moments ago we started to see all of this develop. Once again, Pineview area, Lobelville area, between Beardstown, Linden, and the interstate. Here we go with more of that hail, and we can hear the wind whipping outside the studios tonight. And I know, not only because I can hear it, but my dogs are pacing around the studio, and they know that those changes are happening in the atmosphere right now, and I'm sure your dog does too. Let's take a look at that Linden sky cam and see if we have any of those lightning strikes in the distance. Not too bad, but that's looking due west for us. I think that a lot of what we're going to be talking about is on the northern end of this. And some of it may be captured by our Centerville has cam, but really a lot of it is going to be off camera from where we have our cameras pointed tonight. But yeah, this is what it looks like as that rain in downtown Linden was moving through. An impressive and dangerous radar picture, not only for places along the Tennessee River tonight, but this very, very impressive area of hail that is just south of McEwen, between McEwen and Bucksnort tonight, is going to be the area with the most hail. We have wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles per hour along mainly this secondary or main line of storms, which we are experiencing right now at our studios with you tonight. This is just moving through portions of Decaturville and Parsons and Perryville, down through Sardis and Savannah. So Savannah, I know that you're worried about what you're experiencing because you just got through with a storm. Let's take you there, because you just got through with a long night of tornado warnings. I understand. So this is your horizon tonight. You're going to see some lightning every now and then, but just hang on, because Savannah, this is going to move through quickly, and once it does move through, you're going to be in the clear for that, okay? All right, so let's bring our radar full screen once again tonight, as I can tell you boy, we have it outside. I don't think my microphone's picking that up, but we are just getting an absolute rush of wind. Where we are tonight, our studio facility in Perry County is actually a storm shelter. So we have people here in shelter with us tonight, and they are experiencing this wind gust, and we can hear that what feels like a little bit of hail hitting our studio windows outside. But we're okay, we're safe, we're inside a concrete building. We're following the advice that we give you, and that is to stay inside and go to the innermost room if you're under one of these severe thunderstorm warnings, because Payne, these conditions can change quickly and on a dime, can't they?
Yes, they can. So far, it is definitely, I'd say it has definitely died down. So far in our Tennessee area, still not seeing any warnings, which is a very good sign. We're just hoping that as it pushes more Tennessee, it's just the minimum we can at least stay it down to is just possible hail.
Yeah, and we're seeing that. Yeah, we're glad not to have any tornado warnings happening right now. We do still have a stack of severe thunderstorm warnings, of course, and that's going to be rightly deserved. But it looks like, just as we were talking about that, for what we're experiencing here, and all of this hail that we're experiencing here, and it is right on us. Just real quick, this is what is over us here. And folks, I am almost certain that we are getting hit with hail right now at our Pineview studio. As we move up here, this is an area that is just getting, and if you're in Water Valley, if you're in this portion here just above White House and Furnace along I-40, just before Bethpage, if you're in this area tonight and you can safely describe conditions to us, please let us know. Because you're saying Shayla's want to know about Adamsville. You're getting another thunderstorm, Shayla, right now, but it is not going to be tornado warned, okay? But we do have a tornado warning to tell you about, and that's going to be here in the very northern part of the state near Clarksville. They're concerned about this little area here that's just around Fort Campbell, as a matter of fact. So let me give you some quick information on this one. It expires in 21 minutes. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Oak Grove, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. This is going to be on Clarksville right now. So if you're in the Clarksville area, including Fort Campbell, please take cover. Move to a basement or interior room to the lowest floor of a sturdy building and avoid windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, make sure that you are off the road, and please seek shelter, a substantial shelter. Really, any of these areas, regardless if you're getting rotation or not, and I know that sometimes we hear that tornado warnings catch our ear, and we're more conditioned to maybe respond differently. But folks, what I want you to pay attention to tonight is anywhere along this line, especially if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, which most of these places you see on your screen are. And by most of these places, I mean areas like Dixon, Waverly, Lobelville, Centerville, even in downtown Centerville. You're under severe thunderstorm warning. You're going to be in one for the next 35 minutes. So I want you to make sure that you are preparing to go to the lowest floor of your building if you feel like, and if we tell you conditions are warranting that. And if you are in these areas just south of Tennessee City, anywhere near Dixon, where this hail is moving in, this much hail is moving in, make sure that you're going to go ahead and make preparations to seek shelter, get off the road, and that's what we're going to be warning you about here for the next few minutes with that particular storm. Let's move things out just a little bit, kind of state line to state line as to how things look. And behind this line, in areas like Jackson, McKenzie, Paris, you're looking good. Lexington, you're now looking good. Selmer, you're looking better. Savannah, you're about through it. Let's check in on Savannah real quick. We can do so with our camera. Lots of rain right now for the Savannah area, but you're looking good. In terms of rotation, in terms of strength and severity, you're looking good. Downtown Linden looking pretty good. And let's go over to our HazCam again here in downtown, or in Centerville at our WNKX tower. We have some lightning pops every now and then on the horizon where you can see those, but it's not really catching what's at the interstate. And I think that that's really the big line. All right, so a little bit more with this latest scan here, we're starting to see a little bit more intensity along the secondary line than we had earlier. And we saw when this was over Lexington, parts of Henderson County back in Madison, we saw a few breaks. The line was looking more like what it does here, and we were happy to see that earlier. But now, when we look at what's gathering to us here, Waverly towards Savannah, a little bit more organization once again. This is going to be an area anywhere from Waverly south to Counts to the state line. This is the main line. This is the noisy line. This is the one that we are experiencing along with you right now, because our studios are in this area under all this hail, yikes, and all of this heavy rain that is just beating the side of our building right now here in the Pineview area. Blue sky to Priest Bend, Lobelville. Make sure that Beardstown, Lobelville, you're all in your shelter right now. See how that changed with the most recent scan. This is going to be near you very quickly with lots of heavy rain, and that's the story along this line. If you want to know about that heavy rain, just ask people in Scotts Hill and Saltillo. They've had that go through tonight, and our friends in Savannah as well. Let's see what we can get here. Shayla saying, yeah, lots of anxiety of these storms. I understand. That's what we're here to do, is keep you updated. You can help us, by the way, by sharing out this stream and letting folks know who's with you tonight and where you are getting some of your weather information. For those of you just joining us, I do want to introduce myself. My name is Will Nunley. I'm here with Meteorologist Payne Smith, and we are watching these storms move across the state of Tennessee in real time with you tonight, keeping you ahead of the warnings as well. We are coming to you across several of our digital partners tonight: Tennessee River Valley News, your local radio stations, WOPC, WNKX, and WMAK, along with our friends in Lebanon, the Lewis County Herald, and several other of our digital partners tonight. So no matter where you're watching us, we're the team that's here to help guide you through the storm. Let us know the conditions also happening at your house tonight. If you have a way to safely report to us, We welcome that, because even though we're here in the studio showing you the radar view, we welcome your ground view as well. So if you have the ability to share some of those reports with us safely, we welcome that. Okay, here's radar right now. Here we are about 9:45 tonight. And is that line heading towards Hohenwald next? You betcha it is. As a matter of fact, just south of Hohenwald near Summertown, everybody at the farm needs to get ready for this one, because now we're having a little bit of a hail signature start to show up on radar. And this is just over Napier and moving towards the farm. And it's going to be moving towards Mount Joy, okay? So there you see that starting in that last scan, how that becomes a little bit more organized right there in Napier. And that's how this can move quickly, folks. But as this starts to come in closer and closer to the National Weather Service radar in Nashville, we get a little bit more detailed picture of exactly where this hail is impacting areas right now, so that it helps us to tell the story. Lots of severe thunderstorm warnings to get to, and really, I'm just going to name some of the particular towns that are under severe thunderstorm warnings as we speak, and that's going to include areas like Lobelville in Perry County, Waverly, Linden. You just actually, I think, Linden, you're just outside of one, so that's good news there. But Lobelville moving into close to Bon Aqua. Bon Aqua, you're not under one yet. Centerville, you are under one. Mount Pleasant, Columbia, The Farm, Summertown, all of you there in Lewis County. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get you that one, because I think that one was just freshly updated. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 45 more minutes, and it's for places like Lewis, Wayne, Lawrence, Western Murray, Perry, and Southern Hickman County until 10:30 tonight. At 9:23, a severe thunderstorm was located near Waynesboro, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible with this. Locations include Columbia, Lawrenceburg, Hohenwald, Centerville, Waynesboro, Linden, and Mount Pleasant, along with Lobelville and Flatwoods and Lutz. Okay, Clifton, you're still part of this one as well. So it's a big old severe thunderstorm, and what they're trying to do with this, the reason why they're making this so large, to bring in so many different areas, is because they want to give you the chance to react and give you a little bit of a chance to get to your safe shelter. Excuse me, folks, and make sure that you have time to react to these quickly changing conditions. And we're still watching a little bit of hail develop here, just north of Napier, moving into the farm area in that community. And this is all going to be south of Gordonsburg, Hohenwald, Lewis County, and just north of Lawrenceburg, okay? Etheridge, all through there. So that hail is going to be something to be on the lookout for. All right, Dixon, we were trying to give you that heads up earlier. As a matter of fact, I believe that we have the ability to pull in a camera in Dixon. So give me just a second, because we have an added camera that I want to see if we can bring in tonight. And I'm trying to find that for you here, friends. Give me just a second. Because if we have it, I would certainly like to be able to show it to you. It doesn't look like I have it available, so I will continue to work on that, friends, and see if we could bring that into you shortly, as those conditions change there in Dixon tonight, because we are going to be in an area once again, Dixon, where you're going to have that hail that has held together since it formed over Perry County with us here in Lobelville. It has held together. Let me see if I could draw this out, because it really has been. It's all through Lobelville tonight, and it is heading right there. And you see the radar screen actually drawing in its own map. So this is going in through Highway 70 there, just right into downtown Dixon. With that area of hail tonight and the storm movement there. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. May even start to see, we're going to follow that. I don't want to get ahead of that tonight. Lobelville, this is the area here in Pineview, Lobelville to Priest Bend, where we've seen some of this hail develop here tonight, because it is now going to continue to be over northern parts of Perry County until the whole line can move out. Just had a question come in. When is Linden going to be in the clear? And we've still got at least 20 minutes in this tonight for areas of, let's say, downtown Linden specifically. Give this about 20 or 30 minutes or so for it to move out, because once it does, dramatically changing conditions, cooler and calmer. But right now, you got to get through it, okay? As we start to look areas north of Waverly, An impressive, improved picture for places like Cumberland City and Erin and Dover. Light shower activity, but nothing heavy. That's because it's all ahead of you now. In places like Clarksville and Charlotte, Dixon, though. These are the areas we're going to keep an eye on. We're going to put them all on your screen for you. And I'm going to try to not move around as much because I want you to see the 3 areas that we're really concentrating on as being Dixon, Lobelville, the farm, and portions of Clifton. Okay, all of these are areas that show the possibility of some significant hail. So that's what we're watching for. My brother Efron is saying hello to us tonight. He's out here in Pineview with us. So you're very welcome. We're glad to report to you, and I appreciate you watching in. Tony's saying bad weather in Hohenwald, that it is rocking and rolling there. That's right. And you have a warning in effect for you for, let's see, let's go over and scan over that one on Hohenwald. So you've got about 40 minutes left because Hohenwald, you're going to have one more wave, okay? You just went through it and you just had some significant storm activity, but I want you to pay attention because look here. As we move this in motion, you got that one more wave on the way, so you're not done with it yet. The good news is this is moving at about 45 to 50 miles per hour, so it is moving through tonight. But lots of thunder and lightning, says Tony, there in Hohenwald. All right. Starting again in Savannah, Angelique says, yes, and you're just about done with it. And we're glad to see that, but it's this hail that really, Payne, it keeps kind of creeping up on us.
It does.
And this is a concern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and folks, go ahead.
Oh, well, yeah, looking around, like you said, that hail, it keeps coming up. And, I mean, it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes it gets heavy in one area and goes away, but then you get another area that all of a sudden it gets heavy over there.
The story seems to change, Payne, with almost every radar scan that we get in, because we'll have one area where we think is improving, and maybe we've seen a little bit of calm, and then with just 1 or 2 scans, we start to see some development along the line. Looks like we have some shower activity over. Oh yes, we do. Let's bring it in. Oh man. Look at that happening right now in downtown Linden. So that is going to be some of this incredible storm activity rolling through Perry County and downtown Linden at this point. And folks, if you can look at the screen, see those flags near the courthouse? And that just shows you, look at how they're just sticking straight out. That shows you how fast those wind gusts are moving through there. So I think I may have another perspective. Let's see if we can get our Linden Skycam. Nope, it's already taken it offline. Hold on. Let me see if we can bring it back on. Let's see if we can rehab it for you. Nope, doesn't look like it. It's already taken one of our Linden cameras offline. But that's still a very impressive story right there with just how heavy that rain is coming down. We may even want to stick with that for just a moment and work in some of the radar. So I'm going to work on that because I want to be able to show you the radar picture and also bring you some of that incredible live footage at the same time. So let's bring that down here, folks. I'm talking to myself as I get this ready in real time. All right, let's go ahead and cut that back over. Great. So what we did here is just be able to put a little bit of this live radar on as well as this picture, because Payne, yeah, that's a lot of heavy rain there for downtown Linden, and yes. I'm looking to see if I have any hail that's kind of bouncing up, but I'm not seeing that. That looks, and if we look at and I'm going to bring it up here on radar. That is what you see on your screen in the lower right-hand corner. That is downtown Linden zoomed in on radar. We don't have hail signatures on that area right now, but where we do have it is a noisy downtown Lobelville. And it just moved through with this latest scan. So if you had some of this in Lobelville, if you had any hail reports, let us know. Because that is, Lobelville just not 2 or 3 times tonight has been involved in some of this hail development. And now all of that has tracked up here in Dixon, where we still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for places like East Dixon and Tennessee City, moving into Mount Lebanon tonight. And once we start to get over here into the Charlotte area, of course, we have other partners and other friends that will pick up our coverage from there. And let me check on something here real quick, because if we've got some folks watching, and I'm going to make sure, looks like we do. We have some folks joining us tonight from WANT in Lebanon. So when we get cleared out of what we're dealing with here along these lines, we're going to spend some time getting you ahead of the storm there for our friends at WANT that are streaming along with us tonight. So we have lots of digital partners joining us. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. My name is Will Nunley. I'm here along with Meteorologist Payne Smith. We have these available in the Access Tennessee YouTube channel. We're also on Roku TV. So if you want to watch us on Roku TV, just look up Access Tennessee, and you can find us there with live SevereView coverage. Plenty of heavy rain, though, to show you right there in downtown Linden, as well as starting to calm down a little bit in Hardin County with Savannah from what we're showing you there. Let's go back full screen to the radar. And it looks like we have a little bit of that tornado warning remaining just at the top of the state. Joining us there along Fort Campbell. And that's going to be in effect for 5 more minutes, that tornado warning where they were concerned about some possible rotation. And again, this rotation could pop up at any point. So if you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, let's say you're in places like Ashland City, Charlotte, Dixon, Pegram, Fairview, be prepared for rapidly changing conditions and go ahead and go to a shelter or safe place in your home if you can. You want to avoid those exterior windows. We're about to be able to give an all clear for places like Lexington, Parsons, really looking good. Where we still have some trouble tonight, downtown Linden. We could look at that in real time. We still have some heavy storm activity, but give that about 20 minutes and it's going to be out of your way. And now with some more pockets of hail possibly starting to show up in places like Mount Carmel, moving into Flatwoods in southern Perry County. Clifton, you have a little patch of possible hail near Olive Hill. Just north of Collinwood as well, some development there you want to watch out for. And this is going to be the situation with every new scan we get. We have this really powerful line from places like Charlotte, just north of Dixon, on down to clearing out of Hardin County and Savannah. Collinwood, you're in round 1, and you're about to be in round 2. Anything about Florence, Alabama? Well, Florence is not really in our coverage area, but I will take a quick peek down there for you. But that's really going to be more of the Alabama Weather Network, as well as your local radio stations down there. So we have this, you may be looking at this little cell here in Cherokee. And so that's going to be moving in just a little bit if we can put some motion on that. I need to just spend a moment on this, but I want to answer your question. So that's what you're seeing. Looks like the worst of it's going to miss downtown Florence, but you're going to hear it and see it in the distance there. All right. We're going to get you back up to Tennessee, as we are Tennessee's home for severe weather coverage here at SevereView. This is what we're looking at across most of Middle Tennessee at this point. Because as we have the larger scan and the larger view, what you're seeing there is the heaviest of the storm activity now crossing the Tennessee River and becoming the story for Middle Tennessee tonight. So most of West Tennessee is saying goodbye to this. However, this is what we're seeing for Middle Tennessee tonight. And we are getting some hail reports coming in, some of them coming in at about 1 inch in diameter for some of these areas. Dixon is where we're getting the most activity right now. Winds are starting to reach I-24 in Clarksville, extending to Pleasant View. That's the heavy wind along this line. I'm happy to say, for the sake of my dogs that are all gathered here at my feet tonight, that we're clearing up here in Pineview and that we have a little bit of relief there. So that's nice to hear. And maybe my anxiety partners here will calm down just a little bit. So for those of you who are either with us here in person in Pineview or watching and streaming along from places like Perryville and along the Tennessee River, we're going to have a little bit of shower activity, but the worst, it appears, is now moving into Hickman County. And that's where we're going to take you next, because we happen to have a camera in that area that will bring you some of this distant lightning strikes and things like that. So you're looking at a live picture from our WNKX tower cam. This is going to be looking due west. So we do expect, yeah, there you saw a little bit of those lightning flashes. As these storms approach our tower, and they are going to be there heavier, I would say within the next 15 minutes or so, we will take you there. Do we have power? Yes, we do, amazingly. We're on generator power right now just because we figured we would lose it, but yeah, I had one of our folks asking, do we have power? We do. What are we called on Roku? Jimmy wants to know, what are we called on Roku? We are called Access Tennessee. And once you download that app, you'll have a menu inside, and one of those things says SevereView, which is the name of our weather product. Just click that, and you'll be right there with us inside the Access Tennessee app. All right, in Florence, Dad, I hope that did give you a little bit of a answer your question there, a little bit. And wanting to know about Columbia. I'll get a question about Columbia, so let's take you there. Columbia, you're getting ready for round one. It's on your doorstep. You probably have that lightning already, and you may even have some reports of hail coming through in Hampshire. Let's talk about Hampshire for just a second, because just south of Hampshire, Mount Joy, this area, this is really not much of a hail story for Hampshire at this point. It's going to be south of there, but I know we have some folks watching there tonight, so let's take you in there on Taylor's Store Road, over to Kathy's Creek. Things looking pretty good. Some improvement there. Let's see if we can get on some of these other roads here, because I know we've got some wineries to worry about, and we make sure that hail doesn't mess with those leaves, right? Old State Highway 99, some of these areas you do have some of the heavier activity, but a lot of our hail is going to be here just north of Mount Joy, and I'm going to take you on a tour of this, and so we're going to bring this full screen tonight. Excuse me. What am I doing here? I'm not clicking my mouse hard enough. Okay, there we go. This is going to be right near Needmore, just north of Mount Joy, so a little bit of hail showing up once again as a possibility there in Needmore. Let's going to bring this out here and show you where else that we're looking at. We're starting to improve in places like Linden, so an improvement there. We had just a live view just a second ago, and we still have some of that rain happening in downtown Linden, but we don't have that excessive rainfall. So what will be interesting, Payne, to see is, and I know you're talking with some of your folks there tonight. You're helping to cover things for us in the Martin area and kind of for the northwestern part of the state. Have you had any reports of flurries? Anybody you're talking to tonight, have they spotted any flurries, or have we gotten cold enough for that yet? It may not have happened yet.
No, I wouldn't say yet. So far, I've only heard of just the minor damage of some twigs and branches that have, broken off. And I mean, I will say you can definitely feel that cold weather, and we still have some minor wind gusts that are still happening over here.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be with you for a minute. And I'll tell you, I'd much rather be in some of those minor wind gusts right now compared to some of the major winds that we just went through, because I've got to go out and hug my car in just a second and make sure it didn't get hail. Oh, we don't want that. So hopefully you are watching tonight, friends, and you are not getting any of the hazardous conditions that have been possible. A quick look in Centerville once again, Hickman County, because this is on your doorstep. This is moving through parts of Centerville here right now, and as expected, I know it kind of looks like that we are looking out into the abyss there, but what we're seeing is a little bit of those lightning strikes that are happening right there. Hold on just one moment for me. All right, so we are actually getting some reports in tonight. A little bit of damage here in Perry County, just some tree damage, but it is bringing down some power lines here, and we thought that might happen. So it's actually very close to our studios. Highway 430 West, 438 West is where we are in the Toms Creek area, and so this is going to be a little bit of damage with a tree bringing down some power lines. And I know, even though we just happen to hear that, Payne, that's going to be the story really anywhere along this line tonight. That's going to be those little branches that maybe didn't get cleared out with the ice storm. That's what's happening. I want to get to some of your questions here tonight. Champaign is asking us about the second wave through Waynesboro. So let's back this out just a little bit here and take you to Waynesboro, because you're right. You just completed round one, and there's round two. And I think it's going to be on you very quickly, maybe even faster than I can track this out for you. But let's kind of give a general idea, because we have some motion here. It's less than 15 minutes away. Our radar estimates right now are putting, at least in an area that we're seeing as kind of the central part of this second wave where we possibly have some hail to contend with. Waynesboro, you're going to be in that in less than 14 minutes, okay? That's the radar estimate for arrival times in your area, so make sure that you're ready for that in Wayne County. And then once that's done and dies down, then you're good to go for the rest of the night. And we want to welcome a calm sigh of relief for places like Selmer and Savannah. You're looking much better, and you're going to stay that way at least tonight. You're going to be cold, but the storms are over. Decaturville, give it just a few more minutes, have a little bit of shower activity over you, and then once that moves out of the way in the next 15 minutes or so, you're going to be in much better shape. Camden, give this shower activity a few more minutes, and then you can go to bed, and you're looking good. Waverly, the same for you. The heaviest is over you. So where are you getting it right now? Where is the heaviest activity? That's going to be Charlotte. It's going to be Dixon, places like Burns and White Bluff. It's on your doorstep. It's going to be there in just a minute. I-40, we need to warn friends and family that may be traveling around on the interstates tonight. They need to go ahead and get off that interstate and get ready to roll. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, looks like, just popping up here. Let's get you the info on this one. It expires in 25 minutes. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Dixon County, northwestern Williamson, Cheatham, and northeastern Hickman County in Middle Tennessee until 10:30. At 10:04, a severe thunderstorm was located near Centerville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail are possible for this. So we're talking once again about Dixon, Centerville, Kingston Springs, Burns, Fairview, Bon Aqua, Lyles, and Nunley. All right, so that's a severe thunderstorm warning. Anywhere really that you are seeing this line in front of it, you're just stacked with severe thunderstorm warnings tonight. And this has not been a story about rotation. This has been a story of very strong wind gusts and hail possibilities. Those have been our headlines tonight if we really kind of have to narrow down what's been happening. I'm going to take you back out here to our tower cam, and we're going to stare off into the distance, into the darkness together for just a little while, because every now and then you're going to see an impressive flash of lightning, because this is right on our tower site at this point. I'm going to zoom in, because what you see in that tiny box in the bottom right of your screen, that is Centerville, and that is right where this tower is located. So you'll see some flashes of lightning here. Hail now in Ovilla. I don't think I've ever said that town. Mona? Hail in Ovilla. Am I saying that right? In Clarksville, Melissa, the tornado warning is over for you, but you're still going to have round 2 of the line moving through there. So I'm kind of, let's see if we can back that out, and I'll show you some more of these areas. Hohenwald, get ready, because you're just about to get round 2 of this with the possibility of some hail south of town. Let's see how this is moving, because actually it could bring that hail possibility if it stays together like it is. Let's see what it's kind of pushing. Yeah, I'm going to say that hail possibility is definitely going to be there for you in town as well. And look at that, with that impressive flash of lightning there tonight in Centerville. And yeah, that's going to be there for just a little bit longer. I'm trying to see, Hohenwald, what severe thunderstorm is over you, what warning, excuse me. And I think that you have one for about 23 more minutes, which is going to definitely give that time to move into downtown Hohenwald and then out. All right, Decaturville, Clifton, you're looking much better. Yeah, so if you don't have too many branches to pick up Clifton, go ahead and go to bed, because it's going to be over for you. And finally, I think we can start to see some relief in Lobelville as well. Let me stop the motion. Yeah, places like Lobelville, Beardstown, even downtown Linden. You're on the right side of this stuff now, so it's going to be improving for you. Let's go ahead and take that so that we can see that right there. Okay. So Lobelville, Linden, you're through the worst of it. So things will begin to calm from here. Pineview, things will begin to calm from here. And I know that we may have this live out in the halls tonight in some of our shelters. So if you are in shelter in places like Perry County, if you're in shelter in Pineview or in downtown Linden, if you're in the Linden shelters, give this about 10 more minutes before you head out. Because if we look here, I know that we have another shelter there in Bethel and in downtown. So give this about 15 more minutes. because you're going to make sure that all this storm activity has a chance to get out of your way. But you'll be good to head home here in about 20 minutes. In places like Pineview, you're probably good now. But I want you to be very careful going home tonight if you've been in a shelter, because we've got lots of limbs down. We're reporting some of them right now, even here in our immediate area. And as we look at storm reports across the area that we're getting sent into us tonight, we do have lots of reports of trees down, and mostly Payne, and this is kind of goes with what you were saying, it's mostly the smaller limbs. We're not seeing, this isn't the type of storm where we've had rotation that would uproot a tree, but enough to be a nuisance, right?
Yes, Will, yeah. It's just mostly you're just gonna see those small twigs that are pretty much, you'll see them pretty much all over the roads, but for pretty much over in most of, I'd say, the West Tennessee area, yeah, that's pretty much just a lot of branches and hardly any full whole trees that have fallen down.
Well, Payne, I want to thank you for joining us. You're kind of making your long-form coverage debut as you are studying things there at UT Martin and coming on board with us. And I'm going to say that you can probably head home for the night, and we're gonna clear you as well, because you're through the worst of the storm activity there. I appreciate you being part of our coverage tonight, so thanks for spending some time with us, and thanks for giving us those reports from the Martin area and keeping us updated. And we'll be checking in with you very soon.
Absolutely, Will. It's been a pleasure.
All right, meteorologist Payne Smith joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and let him enjoy his evening, as he's been up with us all day keeping track of everything. Thank you, Payne, and have a great night. All right, our coverage continues meantime here as we are watching storms approaching the Centerville area. Bon Aqua, you're going to get in on some heavy storm activity and even some hail. And what I'm going to do is bring in our, no, I'm not, because I think we just lost it. Okay, that happens. Our towers rely on the same electricity that yours does. So I'm afraid that we lost our WNKX tower cam. I'm sorry, but we're still alive in Linden, and we still have some rain activity happening there because it's wrapping up. It's on the other side of the heavy stuff in Linden right now. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't bring you that camera tonight in portions of Hickman County. But a very serious situation for places like Charlotte, White Bluff, and we're talking about this area here near Bon Aqua, moving into Lyles. These are all areas that need to be in shelter because of the hail threat. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about this powerful wind gust that's going to be howling at your door, and I'm also worried about the hail. And if you're in a place like Bon Aqua, it may even be too late. I don't want you doing it. But if you're in Fairview, you're in Williamson County, and you can bring the car inside, do it. Go ahead. We've just had too many reports of hail tonight, and we want you to be careful. Starting to thunder in Cornersville. And so that's right. We do have that thunder in the distance there for Cornersville. Let me see if I can get some specifics for you. And I'm going to bring you that just as soon as I can here, because I'm looking some things up. So you're going to be over there. Okay, I was looking at Cornersville there. So it's going to be along 65. That's right. Okay. Yeah. And here's what you're hearing and seeing in Cornersville. Not a big one. A little bit of the storm activity kind of ahead of what I will say is going to be the final line for you tonight. But looking much better there. Had some questions about downtown Linden, and are we good there? Yes, the answer is yes. We still have shower and storm activity in Perry County, so I want you to be careful about that. But yeah, looking much better for downtown Linden proper. Not the same for Hohenwald. I want you to be careful along 412. I want you to be careful along Highway 48. Excuse me, friends. Because we still have this big line of storms. This is going to be the final line, but there it is. So we want you to be paying attention to that. Okay, now folks, this is going to be a significant situation here in Columbia. That's because we have, and if you have friends in this area, I want you to invite them to our coverage. And where they can find that is going to be on Roku under Access Tennessee, or streaming along. Just share this that you have right here, and make sure that your friends are aware of this. This is because it looks like we have a big area, a large area, that's going to be placed under a tornado warning, and this is going to extend up to Nolensville. So we're talking about stretching from Mount Pleasant here tonight, just south of Columbia, all through Thompson Station, Spring Hill, moving up through Franklin into Nolensville. So let's get you the specifics of this tornado warning because, folks, we have an hour associated with this one, all right? Tornado warning for central Murray County and Williamson County, for eastern Williamson County, until 11 o'clock tonight. At 10 o'clock, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Columbia, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. This dangerous storm will be near Columbia around 10:15, Spring Hill around 10:20, Thompson Station around 10:30, and Nolensville around 10:50. This does include Interstate 65 and portions of 840 as well. This is a tornado warning, which means radar is indicating rotation and they're awaiting ground confirmation of that. But either way, you need to be in your shelter if you are in the area that is blinking red on your screen, all right? So this is going to be from Nolensville, but the heaviest of this and what they're most concerned about is going to be right here in the Columbia, downtown Columbia, Athendale, Hardy Acres. All of these areas need to be in shelter right now while we have this tornado warning. What's happening with this line is the fact that we can have spin-up tornadoes move through very quickly. We see the energy that this is producing because we have so much hail present with this storm. And we have seen hail damage throughout the night. And so we have had just a couple of tornado warnings prompted really in the state of Tennessee all throughout the night. This is going to be the largest area we have seen yet included in a tornado warning. So what I'm going to do is refresh some of the information that I am getting from the National Weather Service tonight and see if they have any details on this, because we want to make sure that that we can bring this to you. Looks like we have Columbia, Spring Hill, Williamson, Murray all in this one. So so this is what we're seeing right now with this particular tornado warning. Also some power flashes that some of our media neighbors are reporting as they look into some of these areas. So we have some power flashes going on, which means that those winds are powerful enough, of course, to bring down trees and power lines. So while we're looking at that, I want to also bring in our neighbors, because I know we have people streaming along tonight in Hickman County with WNKX. We appreciate it. Make sure you and your neighbors know where you're getting this information tonight and share this out in the community. Here's how things are looking in Centerville, excuse me, because I was wanting to talk about Graytown up there, moving to Swan Bluff and Sunrise. Hail once again around Highway 50, just when you're coming out of town in Centerville. Look at this as it goes on down and connects you eventually to Columbia and Murray County. We have the possibility of that hail there as well. Really anywhere along this second line, because look, as we start to back this out, and you look from places from Dixon on through Waynesboro. Waynesboro, I know you're getting so tired of this tonight, aren't you? But it's almost past you. North of Collinwood, we're detecting some hail there, as well as Hohenwald. And Hohenwald, go ahead and make sure you're off the roads in your safe place at this time as this moves through there. Brittany says, a heavy downpour, wind picking up currently in Centerville by the high school. Brittany, thank you for streaming along with us tonight. And absolutely, you're going to have some of that wind picking up, and it's going to get noisy there for just a few minutes. Linda is wanting to know if Summertown is in the clear, and I'm going to say no. That's going to be a no for Summertown. Here's why. You still have the second line. See all of this here in Waynesboro and what's just now moving into Hohenwald. So I know that you've already been through an area of storms tonight there in in Summertown, Linda, but you're going to have another line move through it. Now and we're talking this will be out of your way probably in an hour. So once that moves through, it's going to get cold. And hey, if you're in areas like Holiday, maybe in Lexington, Perryville, I know that if you've been in some of these areas, you're probably not streaming anymore because it's past you and you want to go to bed because we have to work tomorrow. But if you are still streaming along with us in some of these areas where the second line is moved through, like Lobelville, Linden, Clifton, tell me how it is. Tell me how cool you think it's gotten, because we have temperature readings that are racing down into the 40s and 30s, but I'm just curious as to how cold, if you have a way to measure that, if you have a thermometer outside, or maybe one of those back porch gauges. I'd love to know how that is. So Summertown, Tammy, not in the clear. You're going to be with it for a little bit longer. Hang with me. You still have a severe thunderstorm warning, as a matter of fact, in effect for 12 more minutes, but I expect maybe something to be reissued there. Reason being, you're not even, the main line has just not hit you yet. So, main line making it noisy right now in Bon Aqua, in Centerville, in Burns. These are the areas that are experiencing the brunt of the second line right now. Brittany was saying how heavy it was there by the high school, and absolutely. In Lyles, let's take you up here close to the interstate, places like Bon Aqua, all along Highway 100 as we move up towards Tidwell. So that is the area that has a lot of the hail activity associated with it. You can see that arrow where it's kind of pointing towards 840. Helen, thank you. I appreciate the nice compliment tonight. We appreciate it. We're happy to be here with you, and we will be with you just as long as we can tonight, as long as my voice holds out. West Point, Ashley, tell me what county that is. I have tried to track a lot of different towns tonight, so remind me what town West Point is in, and I'll be glad to take you there and tell you how things look. I kind of start at the county level and then move down, and I don't pretend to be a geographic expert with every particular small town in between. Want to alert you, friends, to this tornado warning. This is a big one. It's moving through areas like Murray County, Columbia, moving north, northeast, but almost more north than northeast. Is that scientific? Is that how they do it? And that's going to be for places like Spring Hill, moving into Thompson Station, moving into places like where I-65 and 840 converge. Actually saying Lawrence County. Okay, so I'll move you there, Ashley, no problem. But I want you to be in your shelter right now. If you are in Murray County, if you are in Williamson County in the Thompson Station area, you are under a tornado warning for at least 45 more minutes, and you need to be in your safe shelter there. All right, so West Point. There we go, there we go, there we go. You're looking good. Looking good in West Point. You still have the main line to visit you, though. I'm sorry. Give it another 30 minutes to an hour, Ashley, because you've had a little bit of activity tonight. But what we're seeing in Collinwood that's moving near you, and I'm going to put this in motion because I don't want to steer you wrong. West Point, you could get in on a little bit, Ashley, if that's what may have a little bit of hail with it that's just crossing the state line down there. You see that? Where it's coming in from Fairview, just down kind of between Collinwood and Loretto. So give this another hour. But you're not under a tornado warning. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning for about another 9 minutes. I would be shocked if that doesn't get reissued. But that's how things are looking for you. And when we look at what's coming up through Florence, lots of hail starting to gather with that little thing. That's really going to be a problem for Loretto and Leoma here in a while. So watch that for us, okay? But yeah, if you're with West Point, still going to get some more activity. Give it an hour, Ashley, and you're going to be in much better shape. When we look at the wider statewide view tonight, and if you're watching this on the big screen, I hope I'm not making you nauseous. I'm sorry, folks. We're just hopping around because we want to answer your questions, and we want to take you a bunch of different places tonight and take you to wherever the story may be. And we're not only going to do that with radar, but we're doing that with our contributors across the state. And we're also looking at some live cameras as well, like this one in Linden, Tennessee, where they still have a little bit of light shower activity, but a big improvement, and a lot of the severe stuff has moved out. Alexa's saying, sounds bad in East Hickman. Yes, it does. Ashley, you just moved here a week ago, and you're new to this area for storms. Well, you found the right place. So whatever page you found us on tonight, Ashley, make sure you like and follow that. And we'll be here with you through each and every storm. So we appreciate you streaming along to us tonight, and we're happy to answer your questions as we can. All right, so let's visit with our friends in Centerville. My place here with WNKX, your local radio station, now doing a little bit of TV too, okay? How about that? The worst of it really rolling through Centerville at this time. Bon Aqua, it's been noisy, but it's going to get better. You're in East Hickman, so let's take you all through the East Hickman area right now, and this is what we're seeing. I'm going to stop the motion because I'm even getting nauseous looking at it on a computer screen. All right. Lyles, you're going to have some improvement here in about the next 10 minutes. It's going to start to cool down, and the worst of it's past you. Tidwell, I want you to be in your safe place. Craigfield, as you start to get towards 840. East Hickman in the 840 area. Still want you to be careful. Want you to be alert to the hail possibilities that we're seeing there. Just south of Spencer's Mill. Here's a new sweep. Starts to take it right on top of 840. So please be careful through there. All right, so that's the latest radar refresh that we got in that area. The good news is, when we're talking about the tornado warning, it is not near East Hickman. It is not even part of Hickman County, but it's just to the south of it, southeast, when you start to talk about Murray County and Thompson Station. Let's bring this out just a little bit and give you a little bit bigger picture, because this is going to take us from I-40 on down through Mount Pleasant. So an early heads up for Nolensville, Franklin. You need to be alert, because downtown Franklin is part of this tornado warning that is in effect until 10 o'clock. Excuse me, 11 o'clock. Don't want to get that wrong. 36 more minutes remaining in this tornado warning. Let's see if we have any refreshed information here from the National Weather Service on this. This is a radar indicated tornado, radar indicated rotation. This does not have ground confirmation yet, but regardless, you need to treat it like it does, because you need to go ahead and make sure that you're in your safe shelter at this time. Destiny says, can you talk about Summertown again, because I missed it? Okay, we can do that. And that's going to be right down here. And you're in it. You're getting some severe storm activity right now with the possibility of hail. And the severe thunderstorm warning that is over you is going to expire in about 5 minutes, but you still have a whole other round. But give it about 45 minutes to an hour in Summertown, you're going to look much better. But you can see all of this that's right now just leaving Waynesboro. See how it's pushing on up through Henryville, pushing on up through Summertown. I'm putting Summertown in the middle of your screen. So for those of you who've been asking about, maybe you're on the farm, maybe you're in Henryville, Napier, look at Summertown. It's in the middle of your screen, and that's all that red that's kind of still pushing up. Hail is part of that. So want to make sure that you are still in your safe place. Hohenwald, downtown Hohenwald, hang on. You got to give it about 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so before it is out of the Hohenwald area. Destiny, you're very welcome. Marcella wanted to know Collinwood second round. That's right. But you're going to be out of it soon. Give it another 20 minutes or so. Just be careful about this hail that starts to pop up here south of Highland, near moving into the Mount Lebanon area. This is going to be along Highway, what is that? Is that part of 13? No. What is that road right there? I need better identifiers. Sorry, friends. Oh, this is the Trace. Ha, of course. Yeah, so the Trace experiencing some of that hail right there between Collinwood and Hohenwald. Let's widen the view just a little bit more tonight, taking you down from Kingston Springs all the way to the state line. And the activity they're seeing in places like Waverly and Lobelville, Linden, that's just shower activity, just some sprinkles, burning off what was left tonight of a very loud storm system that has moved through here. Lots of improvement, though, for those areas. As a matter of fact, I can give you an all clear for places like Clarksville, Waverly, Lobelville, Linden, Clifton, Walnut Grove. Much improved tonight. I want you to be careful in Ashland City. I want you to be careful in downtown Nashville. Get ready. I have no doubt that you're going to get a severe thunderstorm warning here in a matter of minutes. You're probably going to see that. A severe thunderstorm warning continues for Lewis County and Hickman County tonight as part of this. This tornado warning remains in effect, by the way, for this storm that is now trimmed out downtown Columbia. They've morphed the polygon just a little bit. Now Thompson Station, you need to make sure that you're in your shelter. If you're in Franklin, now then near Durham Manor, you need to make sure that you are in your safe shelter as well. The rotation is about halfway between Columbia and Spring Hill, headed towards I-65. All right, so this is the area generally that they're talking about here. It's going to be this area specifically that they're talking about, approaching Harpeth and I-65. That's the rotation that the National Weather Service is indicating to us. Okay, do you see this? Do you see this red arrow that's flashing on your screen? This red and white? That's the general direction of what they're concerned about tonight. So that's what I want you to be paying attention to. If you're in this area, call a friend if you've got them in there, in that area. Make sure that they're aware of this tornado warning. Hail and Hohenwald, Donnie says, hail and Hohenwald and very heavy rain. Absolutely. And yes, you're in the second wave for Waynesboro. We appreciate the questions, and I'm glancing over at them, I promise you, every few minutes just to see if I can answer any of them for you. What I'm doing, though, is relaying information, from the National Weather Service as we get their updates on specific storm tracks, as well as the severity of storms. If you had hail tonight, I'm very interested in your hail reports. If you had hail, give me a guesstimate of how big you think some of that hail would have been. Maybe pea size, maybe dime size. Let me know what you saw in terms of that. I think we have some friends, and I'm going to double check because I don't want to leave anybody behind tonight. Looks like we do have some folks still watching on WANT's Facebook page. And you got to get up early for Coleman and Company, as well as me doing the news there on WANT. Hey, we appreciate you supporting our hometown station, WANT, there in Lebanon. Let me give you a quick preview of what's to come for Lebanon, okay? So I'm going to put Lebanon in the middle of the screen. And you can see that I can't rule out that if you look at the motion, you look at the trajectory of some of this problem area that's soon to incorporate Nolensville, maybe pushing into Laverne, that's not going to be a problem for Lebanon. So I'm going to hang with you here for just a little bit as we track this into your area tonight. I'll probably allow some of our other stations to drop off here shortly. What I want to stay with is Hohenwald and Centerville till we can get this out of that area. Downtown Hohenwald, you are looking better. The latest scan shows the heaviest activity outside of downtown Hohenwald. However, it's not going to be too far before this is in places like Gordonsburg, already on top of you through that area. Anywhere between Mount Pleasant, Summertown, still need to be in a sheltered area, Summertown, because you have that hail possibility over you right now as well. This is ranging from pea-sized hail to about an inch in diameter are some of the reports that we've gotten tonight. Wind gusts 60, 65 miles per hour along this line. So this is certainly a noisy system as it moves through. So that's why we're going to hang with you here just a little bit longer. And then we will relinquish to some of our weather friends at some of our, of course, Nashville TV stations, and as they continue community coverage as well, because they will have some access to some different cameras and things that help bring you some additional coverage. We're a fan of all of our weather friends around here. As long as you are getting accurate and timely information, that's what we care about. Summertown, hang on, because you're going to be with us for just a little bit longer. Conditions improving finally for Waynesboro and Collinwood. So in Collinwood, in about 15 minutes, you're going to be in the all clear. But places like Mount Pleasant are still in this. Had a little rumble of thunder. Ooh, a little bit of thunder tonight over us here, once again in Pineview, but that's just part of what's happening in the distance. It's nothing new brewing up, fortunately. Let's take you down to Centerville once again, because I know that we have a lot of folks joining us on WNKX. East Hickman still is the story right now as you move past Little Lot and start to approach. Let's see, is that through 840? No, it is not. Help me here. Where's 840? Is this going to be it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, so East Hickman still continue to stay in your shelter all through Prim Springs. But there is some improvement there when you look at Bonacqua Junction. So Tidwell, Prim Springs, please still continue to be out of the elements for a little while longer as this moves through. But you have some improvement coming your way in about 20 minutes. Okay, Centerville, the worst of it is past you in downtown. You're still going to have some shower activity, some storm activity, but the worst of it is past you. Gordonsburg, hang on. Downtown Hohenwald, signs of improvement for you. Let's take a look at that screen right there. I'll put it in the middle of the screen. Hohenwald, that's you right there in the center of the screen. So you have some shower activity continuing, but things are looking much better. We just lost power out here at our studio. How about that? Dime size hail in Hohenwald. Thank you, Donnie. And I appreciate you, by the way, hanging out with us. You've been on with us for a while tonight. And I appreciate that, not only for the questions, but helping us with our coverage. So dime size hail reported in Hohenwald tonight. And Mount Pleasant, not looking pleasant right now, but getting there, all right? Mount Pleasant has still not seen the second and final wave. But boy, oh boy, are things getting noisy around Summertown. Now, we've had several questions tonight in Summertown, so for those of you in that area, I want you to go ahead and make sure you're still in shelter tonight and you're still taking care of yourself and your family, because in about 30 minutes, things will get better for you there in Summertown tonight. But it has been what feels like the third round even of storms for that area tonight in Summertown. And with that latest scan still showing hail a possibility for that area. Let's back out real wide and show nearly the entire Middle Tennessee area tonight as we talk about what's happened and what's coming. At this point, folks in downtown Nashville need to be off the street. So if you've got friends trying to have a Sunday fun day downtown, it's about to not be fun in downtown Nashville as the winds are picking up and we have the possibility of heavy downpours. Right now, Davidson County is not under a severe thunderstorm warning, but I would not be shocked if that doesn't happen here pretty soon. Their focus right now is going to be this area that is under the tornado warning. This is for places like Nolensville, Franklin, and Thompson Station. And the good news is they are now indicating that some of the rotation near Spring Hill, where you see that arrow blinking, that some of that rotation is starting to have a downward trend. So maybe showing signs of weakening, and that's great news. That's what we want to see, all right? And that's going to be in effect here until the top of the hour. So we're still about 25 minutes away. Yeah, exactly, 25 minutes away from that storm tonight. And if they are looking at the rotation near Spring Hill, let's do a couple of tracks for you, okay? We have some people that are just joining us from here. By the way, my name is Will Nunley. I'm with you here in the SevereView Weather Center tonight. Let's actually do a little bit of a reset and let me greet you here tonight, because I appreciate you streaming along with us. We are here in southern Middle Tennessee, and we help to provide weather coverage to a lot of our locally owned radio stations, as well as digital outlets like Tennessee River Valley, and newspapers like the Lewis County Herald, as well as our partner station over in Lebanon at WANT. So I know you're up tonight because we've been talking about this for a couple of days, and you're ready to see it move on through. So that's what we're here to do, is guide you through the storm and be with you here to answer your questions. So I welcome all of you, and I thank you for streaming along with us tonight. Here's the radar as we look out with our WeatherWise radar. Lots of reports of trees and tree limbs coming down, almost too many to name. But what we're going to do is a little bit of a storm track, because I want to tell you what's developing over Spring Hill and try to give you some tracks. So this is moving anywhere from 45 to 50 miles per hour. Let's put this on a 50 mile per hour track. And Nolensville, let's give you some impacts here. Nolensville, you're going to be less than 25 minutes away from this arrival of this particular storm that they're worried about. And then it's going to be, you're looking at about, again, 30 minutes for Smyrna and Laverne. And that's going to be here with this tornado warning that is in effect for about 25 more minutes. It is the only tornado warning in the state. We have lots of severe thunderstorm warnings, and now yep. I knew it would just be a matter of time before Nashville got wrapped into one. And here it is, brand new severe thunderstorm warning with the possibility of tornadoes. However, there is no tornado warning. But I want to tell you about this. National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Davidson, southeastern Dixon, Sumner, northern Williamson, northwestern Wilson, Cheatham County, and northwestern Hickman County in Middle Tennessee, and Robertson until 11:15 tonight. Not surprising to see that. But when we're talking about our friends in Lebanon and WANT country, this all is headed to you. The question is this rotation still going to be a concern for what we're seeing in Nolensville? Probably not, but we don't know, because we still have a few more minutes for this storm system to track, because its story, this storm system is a living, breathing thing, and its story has changed a lot tonight. We've had tornado warnings in the very northern part of the state, as well as some down at the southern state line. Here's a new scan coming in, so let's see how this changes things a little bit. And looks like maybe the hail is starting to back off a little bit. So maybe some of these conditions that they were worried about are starting to dissipate as well. They did say some improvement was happening on the log line. However, that tornado warning remains. Emergency management in Lawrenceburg says about 168 customers are without power there in Lawrence County tonight. And I would imagine that there are lots of kind of small streets, back roads in between here and there that are without power because of all of this. Let's take you down here to Summertown and Mount Pleasant once again as hail continues. 30 more minutes or so, folks, in Summertown, Mount Pleasant. Give me about 30 more minutes for this to be out of your way. But right now, I know it's noisy through there. Let's move it on over there to Screamer in Colioca. And I want you guys to prepare, especially in Colioca, places like Hopewell, Scotts Mill. Be prepared for the possibility of hail in your area. Marcella, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate you streaming along with us, and we are very grateful for you as well, so thank you. In Etheridge, Tyler says, let's talk about Etheridge and Pulaski. All right, let's do that. As we come on down here, you have not had round 2 yet. You've barely had round 1. So here comes round 2, and we're going to put this in motion and kind of show you where this is coming up. You're not going to escape it. Hopefully you can escape any rotation, but now Pulaski, you are still going to experience round 2 here within the next 45 minutes or so. All right, so we're down our polygon a little bit for this tornado warning near Nolensville. Hopefully this will be allowed to expire if they think that this rotation is backing off, and then we can look at a little bit more of the straight line wind conditions, which are still very, very dangerous. I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting to walk out the door here in a little while at our studios once all this is passed to see what additional trees it's brought down. This is moving now into the Murfreesboro, starting to get in on some of the storm activity as well. And this is how things are shaping up for us here. Etheridge was a question a second ago. You're in the middle of round 2. All right, so continue to stay inside. Etheridge in particular could see some hail with this. That's what's showing up right there along 242 north of Crossroads. That is some of the hail that is possible for Highway 43 in Etheridge. So those are how things are shaping up there in the Lawrenceburg area, okay? Much improvement now for Centerville, Hohenwald. You're in the clear. You're going to still have a little bit of storm activity behind you. You're going to hear some rain for a while, and then it's going to get cold if it's not already. I'm interested in opening the door here in the studio just to see how cold it's gotten, as a matter of fact. You know, they were saying that we had the possibility of even seeing some flurries in some areas, depending on how fast and how cold that air is that rushes in. I don't know if we've had any storm reports or reports of, let's see here. Yeah, we're getting some, I know that we've had some hail activity. Let's see what kind of reports we're getting in. Let's see what kind of, if we've got any, interested to see if we're getting any flurry reports, but I don't think so. It's not looking like it. I'll let you know if that changes. But in the meantime, we just have a lot of serious straight line winds, powerful wind gusts, I should say, excuse me, let me correct my terminology, of powerful wind gusts coming in. You can see as this scan updates on your screen how fast this is moving. We're talking about a 45 to 55 mile per hour movement on a lot of this storm system through here. So it is rocking and rolling and making lots of noise along the way. Downtown Nashville is in the impact zone here, along with Nolensville. So for my friends in Lebanon, I want you to go ahead and prepare for this storm to be on your doorstep here within about an hour. You are just on the edge of a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until about 32 minutes from now. So when we talk about what's going to be happening 45 minutes down the line, you're going to be more than likely, it's almost certain, under a severe thunderstorm warning because of what is rolling through Nashville right now. You see it all there. Even some of what we're experiencing in Nolensville is going to be near you. Let's check in on Summertown. It's finally starting to see some relief. Mount Pleasant, Scotts Mill, Hopewell, please be aware of this hail activity that is in your area. It's starting to push through and bother Columbia once again. As a matter of fact, if we can put a little bit of motion on that, it may be taking it right back through it. and I'm afraid it's going to. All right, I hate to say that, but you're going to possibly have another hail encounter, definitely in Murray County and possibly for downtown Columbia just after you got yourselves out of that tornado warning. I'm sorry. I hate to pass that along, but that's what's going to happen there for that area. And it looks like they have allowed the tornado warning to expire, which is good news if you're worried about the rotation with these storms. So even though the tornado warning has dropped off, the threat has not for places like Nashville, Brentwood, Franklin, Spring Hill, Columbia. You all need to be alert to rapidly changing conditions, very powerful wind, and the possibility of hail as well with this. But we're showing some areas of improvement as nighttime falls. These nighttime storms, of course, are very dangerous. However, we're hoping that these cooler conditions and without the sun's radiant heat that we're able to lose a little bit of juice. But this is still a cold, cold front that's moving through here, and it's making its presence known. You can see how much it moves with every one of these radar scans that come through here on our WeatherWise radar system. By the way, you can download the WeatherWise app. You can see exactly what I'm seeing in real time by downloading that WeatherWise app. I'm going to add something here that I should have added a little bit earlier to show you some of the cameras that we have in the area. And one of those that we can check in on is how things are looking in Dixon, Tennessee. This is one of our partner cameras here at American Sign and Signal. And you can see a rain-covered lens. Let me make that a little bit bigger here for you. If I can. Can I do that? Yeah. So this is how our things are looking there tonight in Dixon. That would have been interesting to look at a little bit earlier, but you can see some lightning flashes in the distance there in Dixon. Summertown is getting hit hard. Who is it that's telling me that? Move the chat up here. Daniel, you're clear now. Lyndon, asking about Lyndon. Lyndon's good to go. Go to bed. You're good to go. Get some sleep. You'll hear some rumbles of thunder in the distance, but nothing to worry about for Lyndon. You're good to go. Let me see here. Yep, Lauren saying you had the power drop. We did too. We had power go off here at our studios. It's cool outside. Are we really going to get snow in Holmwald? Okay, I wouldn't say snow. I would say maybe a passing flurry, but you are not going to wake up to a snow day. Nothing like that, okay? Laura, we thank you for streaming along with us tonight. You're very welcome. Is Collinwood in the clear? I don't think so. I think you're improving. No, you are. Let's take a look. Is Collinwood in the clear? Yes. Go to bed. Have a good night. You're going to hear some thunder in the distance. Look at this latest scan. It's going to take these storms right on through Lawrenceburg. So if you're in Collinwood and you're tired because you've had a long night of this stuff, go ahead and get some sleep. You're good to go. Same goes for Centerville and Holmwald. A little bit of shower activity. Again, we heard some of that thunder here in Linden and Lobelville, but it is not severe. It will not be severe, and you're good to go. Dixon, go to sleep. Hendersonville, Gallatin, places like Carthage, Lebanon. I still need you to pay attention to all of this, though, tonight as we track these storms moving into our friends at WANT country there in Lebanon, because you are going to have this very noisy storm system move through here. Wilson County is kind of split right now by that severe thunderstorm warning that expires in 28 minutes. And if you are watching us on WOPC, or maybe Sunny 106.5. We're about to end our streams there for the night. We're going to say good night to you. If you're watching us on Access Tennessee, hang on. We're not going to go anywhere. But if you're watching us on Sunny 106.5, WMAK, they are the Decatur County area. We're going to say good night to you. And we'll hang on to you here on Tennessee, River Valley, and a couple of other places. Because we would keep you. As long as you're with us, we're going to be with you, okay? Brentwood in this, but no longer in a threat of a tornado warning for now, which is good news. Let's take you back down to Mount Pleasant and Columbia. Some improving conditions in Summertown. Give it 10 to 15 more minutes, and you're really going to like it. It's going to be cooler, but it's going to be calmer. Columbia, I'm sorry, you just have another round of hail coming your way. Let's give this a little bit of motion. You can see where this is starting to track, and it's just going to bring the hail right up Highway 43, right over 412, into downtown Columbia once again. Very sorry, but make sure that you're still in your shelter, in your safe place, out of those elements for at least another hour, and give this a chance to move through. Starting to see this break up just a little bit. You know, you see this gust over here. Let's look at what's happening in Smyrna and Laverne. This is, by the way, if you are looking for hyper-local coverage for Rutherford County, I invite you to visit our friends at Rutherford Severe Weather at WGNS. My good buddy Brian Barrett, known him nearly all my life. He has Rutherford Severe Weather that is available on YouTube as well, and he is a trusted, reliable broadcaster and will shoot straight with you and keep you updated on the storm. So let's say that you're in the Laverne, Smyrna. I love having you here. Not trying to tell you to go anywhere, but if you are in Rutherford County, I do invite you to support WGNS and Rutherford Severe Weather, as they are good folks that will bring you verified information, okay? Well, I always want to give you some local sources too. In addition to us, we're local. I'm a Tennessee boy. Columbia is going to be a concentration of storm activity for now, and it looks like, unfortunately, and I hate to bring this up, but looks like we do have a tornado warning again that's possibly going to affect parts of our area. Give me just a second, because what I'm going to do is actually send an alert and make sure that our radio affiliates in that area are going to be joining us as well. All right, sorry folks, I'm multitasking and we're doing some different things here tonight. As I told you, we serve several different radio stations and digital outlets throughout the state. One of those is WANT in Lebanon, and this is where I'm going to kind of shift attention here for just a moment. This is going to be north of Smyrna now, because we do have a tornado warning for that area. So let's go ahead and bring this into focus, because we want to give you plenty of time to react, because there's a little bit of possibility. Right now, this tornado warning is going to be passing right over Old Hickory. It's leaving I-65 in downtown, but it's what is really starting to leave the northern part of Nashville, the I-65 Lakewood area. And as this is starting to approach northern Wilson County, that's going to be included in this tornado warning. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get some of this information out here. And get this to you, okay? This is a tornado warning for northeastern Davidson County, southern Sumner County, and northwestern Wilson County in Middle Tennessee until 11:30. At 10:48, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Madison, 7 miles northeast of Nashville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. This is a radar-indicated tornado. Flying debris could be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged with this. Let's give you some timings here. Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, Lakewood, and Old Hickory around 10:55. Gallatin around 11. And Lebanon around 11:05 is where we're looking at timing-wise. This is moving fast. They're saying Lebanon by 11:05, and it's 10:50 right now? Okay. Let me go back to that. I just want to cross all my... How fast is that moving? East at 50. All right, so we've changed from having kind of this northeasterly direction to due east almost at this point. Let me back things out, and I'm going to show you a couple of other areas that are closer here to home before we give some special attention to our friends here in Wilson County. I'm going to give you some updates real quick. Mount Pleasant, you're looking much better. Summertown, go to bed. You can hear some thunder over your head, but it's going to be okay. The worst is over you. Colioca, I need you to be in a safe place because you have hail possibility near you. Columbia, you're about to get hit with another round of hail through there. Spring Hill, shower activity, but right now, not even seeing any hail over those areas that were a concern earlier. Some good news there. Now, when we start to get north of Laverne, let's take you here to this tornado warning, because this is going to be the area of concern for us and our friends in Wilson County. This is moving fast, folks. We're talking when we get every scan that's going to come in here, you'll see that white sweep come across the screen. That's going to give us a lot of fresh information. Let me see exactly what our partners here at the National Weather Service are saying about this. because I want to make sure that we are getting the very, very latest to you there in Wilson County. So this rotation that they are saying that they are concerned about, give me just a second here. Yeah, so this tornado warning location of the rotation is going to be just west of Lakewood. Yeah, okay. So this is where, if you see this little signature right here, this arrow, so it's with every scan, and we're about to get another refresh here, I would imagine we're going to see this line move closer and closer now. Do you see the big orb there on your screen right over where it says Harbor View in Cedar Grove? That is the actual radar. So you may think, oh man, this is going to give us a great view. Yes and no, because it's scanning pretty low to the ground at this particular area. So sometimes when you're right on top of a radar, it's not as all that accurate. So that's why they are going ahead and issuing this where they feel like they could have some rotation, and then they are saying that this is moving fast. This is a radar indicated tornado situation. This does not have ground confirmation yet, but still treat it as though it is there. We all skimmed by it in Hohenwald, you said. That's right. Go ahead and get some sleep tonight, Donnie, in Hohenwald, and I appreciate you hanging out with us. Let me try to get some of this new information coming into us here from here in Wilson County area. We've got some folks on the line that are going to be watching for some of the damage reports there as well. All this Old Hickory Lake area, Bluegrass Meadows, Cedar Grove. If you are in this portion of Davidson County moving into Wilson County, make sure that you're in your safe place at this time. Right now, this tornado warning does not include downtown Lebanon, but includes right on the outskirts there in Wilson County, just north of I-40. You can see the polygon. I have it full screen there for you. So anywhere that you're seeing that white and red flash on your screen, that's going to be the active tornado warning that does include parts of Wilson County. We're going to go over the complete list of these areas in just a moment. Let me refresh and get some new information. Stay with me. All right, so let's go through the latest guidance together. You'll see it as I see it. 34 minutes total left in this tornado warning. This is going to be for northwestern Davidson County, southern Sumner County, and northwestern Wilson County in Middle Tennessee until 11:30. At 10:48, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Madison, 7 miles northeast of Nashville, moving east at 50 miles an hour. This is a radar-indicated rotation. This dangerous storm will be near Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, Lakewood, and Old Hickory around 10:55. It's on them now. Gallatin, you're going to hit it at the top of the hour here in just a few moments at 11 o'clock. And Lebanon, this is going to be 11:05. Take cover now. Move to a basement or interior room, the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. That's going to be for this area right here in this tornado warning just issued that does include portions of Hendersonville, Old Hickory, Hopewell. This is starting to improve now for areas like Goodlettsville. This is a particularly challenging tornado for them to monitor right now because of its location. It's right on top of the radar, essentially, of the National Weather Service there in Old Hickory. That's where they are based. You see how that sweep is coming out of that circle you see there? That is the radar doing its thing. So with that very latest sweep, it puts the heaviest activity right on top of that radar system. And that means it's a challenge sometimes for giving it some clarity as to just how high reaching some of this is. Not an ideal place to try to monitor that particular tornado warning, so they're trying to give some lead time there for it to get over that radar site so that they can continue to track conditions as they move through. Looks like another, hang on folks, We've at least got another severe thunderstorm warning list. Nope, we have a new tornado warning. Let's touch on this one here. This is going to be circulation near Minor Hill. Okay. This is going to be in the Pulaski area. This is going to be for Giles County. Tornado warning tonight for Giles County. Let's get you the information on this one as it's just coming in. The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Lawrence County and southern Giles County in Middle Tennessee until 11:45. At 10:56, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles northeast of Lexington or 14 miles south of Lawrenceburg, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. This will be near Pulaski at 11:10. So we have just 10 minutes before this is going to be affecting the Pulaski area. Again, this is a thunderstorm that they are concerned could have some rotation in it. And Lawrence County is tracking this for us as well. So we have two different tornado warnings that are causing some problems here at this very late hour. And we're going to continue to stay with these for just a little bit longer. Some of this starts to get out of our coverage area, and we have lots of great resources that we'll be sure to point you to before we wrap up our coverage here tonight. But I do want to stay with you for just a little bit longer. We appreciate it. I know we've got a lot of folks on the line. So you were just asking, who was it, Kim? Yeah, Kim, you were asking about Pulaski. Kim, I need you to go ahead and get everybody in the shelter, okay? So Kim Bishop, I see you down there, and I appreciate you. I want you to go ahead and get in the innermost room of your home. I want you to be on the bottom floor away from windows because you're under a tornado warning. You will be for the next, in terms of it affecting Pulaski, at least the next 20 minutes. So I want you to go ahead and seek shelter. Jacob, you're asking about Savannah. You're fine. Savannah's not a concern right now. Go to bed. You're through the worst of it. Right now, our two areas of concern are going to be to the north in Wilson County and Hendersonville and Gallatin, and to our extreme south of our coverage area, and that's going to be there in near Pulaski in Giles County. You can see those areas both kind of flashing red on your screen. Those are the dual tornado warnings that are affecting both of those communities at this time. For the Hendersonville and the kind of Wilson County tornado, we have about 29 minutes remaining on that particular storm, or at least that warning. And you'll see here to our west. I want to give you a little bit of good news in the middle of all of this, and that is to our west, we have much improved conditions, and look, they take away all of the tornado watch boxes. So we have places like Camden, and everybody in West Tennessee, all the tornado watches are over. You can go to bed. We still have some more time here, though, in Middle Tennessee for places like Gallatin, Hendersonville, north of Lebanon. They could even encompass parts of Lebanon depending on the track of this and where they may extend this tornado warning to. We'll track that carefully for you. And then, of course, we have this area here just south of Lewisburg in Giles County and Pulaski where we have an active tornado warning there. And this is where they think the rotation is happening. You see this arrow that's being drawn on the screen. Let me move that to the center of your screen. This is just between 5 points heading up towards Peach, and then eventually towards Pulaski. And with that latest scan, we have some movement there. Did it take away the rotation they were concerned about? We will see momentarily when we get the latest information coming in from there. Also, another story tonight we want to alert you to, and that's going to be this hail that has just passed through Columbia. By the way, Columbia, the worst is over for you, it appears. You've made it through a couple of rounds of storms tonight and a couple of rounds of severe weather alerts. But that's going to be the worst that's over. The worst is over for you there. But a lot of considerable hail as you start to move towards I-65. And so I want you to be careful in that area. All right, so we start to move over towards Mount Juliet once again, just north of Mount Juliet and the Lebanon area, and we have this to deal with. Now, this is moving fast. This is going to be just north of Lebanon within the next 5 minutes. They're putting an arrival time of about 11:10 for this area of rotation that they were concerned about for this Wilson County tornadic storm. Is Spring Hill in the clear? I'm getting a question for you tonight. I don't think so. Not quite yet. You're getting there. Give If you're in Spring Hill tonight, give me about 20 more minutes of staying alert, and then it's going to improve for you in Spring Hill. Mount Pleasant is not. Mount Pleasant and Spring Hill both. You need to give it a little bit more time tonight. Excuse me, folks. I'm starting to lose my voice as we're still trying to clear out this front. But the main line, once it's passed, you're in good shape. Getting a new radar sweep in here, and this is going to be very important to tell us how the possibility of this rotation is shaping up. Let's take a look here at some of these storm reports that are coming in, folks. So I'm trying to stay on top of it for you. So we could have the possibility here of some damage with this storm that we're talking about on the state line. And this is as this crossed through, and we're talking about possible reports out of Alabama, the possibility of some reports of damage when this storm was in Alabama. Okay, we have some good news coming in here, folks. And that is going to be right here. And in a moment, I believe that you're going to see portions of this drop off. I think they're going to keep some of this tornado warning in effect for a few more minutes. Yeah, but I'm being told that all of it that would affect Davidson County, and it looks like it's clearly passed, of course, through downtown Nashville. But there were portions of Davidson County near Lakewood and Old Hickory that were in that tornado warning that has been allowed to expire. I want to alert you to this. This is the Murray County Office of Emergency Management passing along some information tonight, and that is damage assessments underway. About 6,500 homes without power. Tree limbs and power lines reported down across roadways. Some damage to homes reported. Pea and marble-sized hail currently in Columbia. So that's significant. We've been talking about several times tonight Murray County and Columbia getting in on that. Couple of different warnings now, and we've also seen several different times where hail has been affecting that area. That's the result of it. Again, let me read that to you because we've gotten a lot of questions, and I've been looking at all of the information and the questions you guys are sending to us, and I know we have a lot of folks watching that area from that area. So this is coming in just now from the Office of Emergency Management in in Murray County. And that is that they are out right now taking a look at the community, doing some damage assessments, and that's going to be about 6,500 homes without power. Tree limbs and power lines reported down across roadways, and some damage to homes reported. Pea and marble-sized hail currently falling in Columbia. They are going to keep in place the the Wilson County portion of this tornado warning for about 20 more minutes. So if you've been watching this one with us tonight, maybe you're watching on the WANT Facebook page, and we welcome you, and we're glad that you are watching us there and you're supporting local radio. This is what we're talking about, is this polygon that you see on your screen now. And let's get in there close to it, take a look at how things are shaping up. Right now, there's a good possibility it's going to be allowed to expire when it expires, which is still about 20 minutes away, okay? But the area they're concerned about, the possible rotation would now be taking it across Highway 109, moving it just north of Oakland. Lebanon, you need to be alert to this, but right now you are not within this warned area. However, there are portions north of I-40 in Wilson County that are. So we'll continue to watch this. Right now we have no reports of damage with this storm, but this is just radar indicated rotation along the line, and that's what we want you to be alert to. I also want you to pay very close attention to what's happening here south of Spring Hill, because this area, and I want to give a heads up right now to places that might be watching us. Let's give this some motion, and let's track how this is moving. So if you are in places like Lee's Corner, Bethesda, please be alert to this possibility of hail that has a history of causing damage already in Murray County and Columbia. And it breaks up a little bit there with the latest scan, but in Lee's Corner, Riggs Crossroads, all these areas need to be alert to these changing conditions because this has had a possibility of some hail damage. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a alert there, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm seeing what's happening. Sorry about that, folks. We're dealing with our own building being on generator power and everything else tonight. So we've been riding this storm out along with you. We're going to hang here for just a few more minutes with this Wilson County storm. We also have some of our friends there at Tennessee Valley Weather that are tracking this. They have some cameras down in this area. So if you know our friends down there and Ben Luna and the gang, you can also join them now for coverage as we're about to leave coverage for this area and turn it over to them. But this is a tornado warning that is effective for Giles County until at least 36 more minutes tonight, excuse me. And we do have the possibility of some damage that has been associated with this when it was in Alabama. Those are some of the initial readings. We don't have specifics. We also do not have confirmation of a tornado on the ground. I want to be very clear about that. This is still radar indicated tornado possibilities right now there for Giles County. Let's see if we have any additional information coming in on the Nashville chat. Nothing official from any of our EMA partners right now, but I do want to just say how much things are improving. We do not have a lot of reports of widespread damage. And I want to take that all the way back to to West Tennessee as well, because they have been through this all night. And we have, of course, your sporadic reports of trees down. But we don't have a lot of confirmed widespread damage with this. Power outages, I want to say that some of the most significant damage that we're hearing about, the highest concentration of damage, is going to be in the Murray County area in Columbia, where they've had warning after warning and also encountered several places. You see that? All that hail right there you see just south of Spring Hill. That's all just made its way through Columbia and Murray County tonight, so they have had a go with it. So we're thinking of our friends there in Columbia. Stephanie, you want to know about Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro is not looking too bad, but it's not over for the night. It's just not done. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, you're just about to get in on it. And I'm probably going to be leaving this coverage here, Stephanie, before too long, but I want to give you a specific resource. And let's see, you're watching this on Facebook. So Stephanie, if you can look up Rutherford Severe Weather, I think it's called Rutherford Severe WX. That is my friend Brian at WGNS in Murfreesboro, which is your local radio station. And he is no doubt live with all of this right now. And he is going to be able to bring things down to your street level. So Murfreesboro area is not in the clear. You're going to get this. You're going to get the possibility of hail, because if you look, Stephanie, at what's coming up through here just outside of Spring Hill, moving into Eagleville, which starts to get us, of course, into Rutherford County. Yeah, you're going to hear this wind. You're going to possibly experience that. So as we start to wrap up kind of our coverage here in southern Middle Tennessee tonight, I want you to tune into our friends at WGNS in Murfreesboro and Rutherford Severe Weather. And he's going to take good care of you, okay? But Stephanie, that's my home, by the way. I'm a Murfreesboro boy, born and raised in Las Casas. Now hanging out here in Linden. But I'm a product of WGNS in Murfreesboro, and I know that they will take good care of you tonight with Brian Barrett. All right, friends, we have a lot more to get to here tonight. We look at this latest radar sweep, and this is going to show you the movement of how quickly this is now starting to move through the area in places like Chapel Hill and Rockvale there in Rutherford County, starting to get in on this. I want to touch on this Pulaski storm. I want to give you a couple updates on these tornado warnings before we depart tonight. The good news is, when it comes to weather in Middle Tennessee, there are lots of great resources out there. We have our meteorologists, of course, at all the Nashville TV stations that are keeping you updated right now as well. But before I leave you tonight, let's give you some updates here on this one. Let's see if we have any other areas of concern that are coming in for our Wilson County friends that are watching us over there on WANT. And right now, we do not have anything with this particular tornado warning that is a concern. But I want you to be careful in places like Highway 231. And we talk about not the Antioch in South Nashville, but that version of Antioch in Hartsville, over to Hunters Point, Taylorsville, some of these areas right here, just north of Lebanon in Wilson County. you're still going to have significant wind moving through, and I want you to be very careful in that area. Because even though you may no longer be under a tornado warning, and that's going to expire here in about 17 minutes, so even though that's going to be allowed to expire, downtown Lebanon, you're going to get noisy here for the next few minutes. So we'll hang with you here for just another minute. You are not under any, let's see, Lebanon, I don't think you're under a warning at all, but I don't want to misspeak. It looks like if you look at these polygons right here, Lebanon, you are in one? Yes. For about another hour. Okay, yeah, you got included. Excuse me, Lebanon, I'm sorry. We have to go way far out to the polygon that you're part of. That's why I didn't see it, because it looked like the little pizza slice there was getting you. But no, you have a huge area that is under a severe thunderstorm warning. And again, these conditions can change quickly without notification. All right, so it looks like this area here, when we talk about Lawrence County, let's take you down here near Lawrenceburg. Okay. We are getting lots of reports of trees down now. This is coming from the Emergency Management Director in Lawrence County. And this is going to be multiple trees down and damage to buildings possible. They are investigating that right now. So this means, for those of you watching in Pulaski tonight, Giles County, you need to take this seriously. If you are in Pulaski, I need you to be in shelter right now. If you're in Beach Hill, shelter now. If you are along Interstate 65, if you have people that may be traveling that area, they need to be off the interstate now. So try to seek shelter inside of a substantial building. Put as many walls as possible between you and the windows and outside, because we have significant wind gusts, and now we have confirmed damage reports as a result of this storm. Does not mean that there is a tornado on the ground. We do not have that confirmation. What we do have is some trees down that have certainly been caused by some of the powerful wind that has been moving through this part of the state tonight. It's moving quickly. We're talking about 55 miles per hour, the movement for this storm. Let's give this some motion a little bit. And you can see just how quickly that's moving through. Excuse me, let me do that one more time. And so that's how quickly this is all moving through here tonight. And let's see, let's look at velocity here and see. Yeah. Let's put back on the reflectivity product. And keep it in real time. So Pulaski, just be careful as this moves through. I think things are starting to, I don't want to get ahead of it here, but Leoma's got some in Lawrenceburg signs of improvement, but I just want you to be really, really careful. Places like Cornersville, as we get this tornado warning through that area. And I need to see why it is not showing up on our latest scan. There it is. Okay, they changed the polygon just a little bit. 28 minutes remaining, though, in this particular tornado warning down here that has a history of producing damage. This line, at least, has a history of producing damage, so please be careful here in the Pulaski area. Let's move back up here towards Lebanon, and it looks like they may have taken that off completely and expired that tornado warning. Let me verify that. If that can happen, then that is great news. Woohoo! Okay, there's a bright spot. Southeastern Sumner, northwestern Wilson counties, your tornado warning is canceled. You are still in a severe thunderstorm warning, and if you look really close here in Lebanon, you are still, Austin's wanting to know, do we have anything else for Nashville tonight? Nope. Nashville, you're good to go. Go to bed or continue doing whatever you're doing. You're good. Because as we kind of bring out here, we still have some shower activity. It's going to be near Nashville. But no, the heavy stuff is over. You're looking good in Spring Hill and Franklin. Columbia, you're looking good. Rutherford County, want you to be on alert for all of this moving into you. This does have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes part of Rutherford County as well. You have a lot of fantastic weather resources there in Rutherford County, including my friends at Rutherford Severe Weather, that is powered by WGNS. I invite you to listen and tune in to them. They are on Facebook, they are on YouTube, and they're on the radio as well, and they're going to keep you updated because we're about to turn over our coverage to those entities and leave you for tonight, okay? So I want to give you time and resources to be able to follow before we leave you. If you are here in the Giles County area, our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather are on top of this as well. This is one of their primary coverage areas in their home, and they have a lot more contacts in that area, so I want to make sure that you're getting the very best coverage you can get. And the team of meteorologists there can help you as well. So we're talking about a little bit of thunderstorm damage in Summertown. Some trees down, so we're going to track that for you. And we'll have some more of these damage reports kind of flow in throughout the night. It takes a minute to find some of these areas of damage where trees may have come down because, of course, we're dealing with the middle of the night now. And so it takes a while to track this down safely. This is the area of rotation that they're worried about. This is in Pulaski heading towards Beach Hill and Interstate 65. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up our coverage here tonight. We will keep the radar hot if you are watching on our Access Tennessee Roku channel. What we're going to do is leave live local radar up for you, and so that way you are not without information tonight. But I encourage you to find Rutherford Severe Weather, or maybe check out some of our friends at News 2, WKRN in Nashville, or WSMV in Nashville, as well as some additional weather resources. One lone tornado warning in our state tonight. That's going to be near the state line in Pulaski, Giles County. And we certainly hope those folks are going to escape without any significant damage. For those of you in the west, if you're talking about Centerville and Kingston Springs, Honewall, Mount Pleasant, you can head to bed. Things are looking much better for you tonight, and that includes downtown Nashville. So after a very busy night of storms, after several consecutive hours on the air tonight, that's where we're going to leave you. My name is Will Nunley. This is SevereView. We appreciate you supporting these local radio stations and our digital partners with outlets including Tennessee River Valley News and the Lewis County Herald, as well as your local radio stations WANT, WCOR there in Lebanon, where we're going to continue to keep an eye on things tonight. Be safe, everybody. Bookmark this page. Tell everybody where you're watching tonight, because we appreciate your support. That helps to power what we do as well. Please stay safe. If you're in this tornado warned area in South Tennessee near the Giles County area, make sure that you're safe tonight and still stay alert to changing conditions all along this line. Good night from Southern Middle Tennessee, and stay alert as we continue our coverage on Access Tennessee's Roku channel.